Hi.
Hi.
I'm only just noticing that it looks like I'm in heaven. I'm not. This is a heavenly layout.
Is that the bad feeling you've had? It's just
the
like,
bad
oh.
feeling is just the bad lighting, I think. Yeah, I was just saying before we went live that I have like a feeling. Like, I don't know whether it's like, this is really intense music. I don't know whether it's like...
It might be the music, just like giving you an anxiety attack.
It might be.
Might be. But like, I don't know whether it's just like something is going to happen, or like a feeling or something, or just
You're
like
on the precipice
anxiety.
of anxiety.
It's like I'm on the precipice of something. It's the
Yeah,
perfect
you are.
use of this phrase.
Let's discover what it is.
Let's discover what it is. So we did not have Road to Eltero this week because people had life things going on. You know, life. So we did do Crimson Petal, and we fought a snail. We argued about the legitimacy of a retirement fund, and then we went to hell.
Yeah.
One hell of a ride.
One hell of a... Oh, that should have been the title. On the precipice of a hell of a ride. Oh,
damn it. Change it now.
I'm changing it.
Quickly
That's so
change
much
it.
better. I almost hit
The
myself
embarrassment
in
of
the
our
eye.
snail escapade.
Oh man, we had such a struggle with that snail. I love it.
What was it? On hell...
Of a hell of a ride.
Hell of a ride.
Of a hell of a ride. Done. Update, please, good sir.
At least it
Thank
seems
you.
like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the theories? Because we essentially got to High Moon, and why is this music so loud? Why am I having so many issues? Why did it go from like nothing to we're deafening you? You're welcome. Yeah, so like the view that we had when we were walking up to it was this kind of bustling like city town thing, which was like functioning and in one piece. Then we went through like a force field / visage bubble thing, and it's in ruins.
Yeah.
And we can't get out.
Yeah. Only Rascal can get out. I think it's an evil thing. Evil lineman
Yeah,
thing.
it's like the falling into the pool of
Yeah.
goodness.
Eldath. Yeah.
Elder.
I think I have no clue what happened there, but I think like the rabbit told us that happened like 10 days ago. That the land started decaying 10 days ago. So it's been fairly recent, and I'm curious what amount of power it can destroy an entire city.
Yeah, some fuckers opened up a portal and something fell through.
And then I'm curious if it's like an abyssal portal or a hellish portal.
Yeah, but we have a lot of the glass.
Yeah, we have the
do.
shell. The shell of the fucker we had to fight.
Yeah. So after we struggled so much, it was like a level 3 challenge rating, and we were like, one of the suggestions that I had was that we would flip the snail over and just stab the soft side.
Yeah.
Which
the
I
same
thought
idea.
was a good plan, you know?
Probably was, but I think it's of the case where it's like, oh, if you can lift the 250-pound shell of this creature, that most certainly, if it's that big, it's probably suction cupped itself to the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it'd take all of us to knock it over.
Plus some.
And like, yeah.
With natural 20s.
It was being stupid towards magic.
Yeah.
So we had to hit it. And in doing so, it retracted into its shell, therefore making its AC higher. Which made us question, why on earth are we fighting this fucking thing?
Yeah.
We can run, but we're not gonna.
It was
An
a
option.
thing of pride at the end, you know?
Yeah.
I'm also so glad Kia got it, because if out of everyone in the party, it wasn't either Rascal or Kia, what are we doing? You know?
What are we doing? That didn't happen.
Mr. Rhino Dude. Why have I forgotten his name?
Magnus.
Gosh, okay. Yeah, if it wasn't the three of us, I'm including the rhino as an actual character.
Yeah, that's fine.
He is.
If it wasn't the three of us, I would be solely disappointed in us.
No, I think the most
As a whole, that like the one time that like you've got an enemy where you're not allowed to use magic, and if it was defeated by the magic users who just like didn't use magic for once, then it would have been a huge insult to those who can't really use that much magic.
Yeah.
It's like,
To us defeating it.
I found a small rock. I am a wizard, but I threw it really hard.
Yeah, I think the most annoying thing about that snail was that it's a more of a defensive character. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't go in the offense, it goes in the defense, and it just like if it retracts into its shell, it's an AC of 20, so it makes it harder. And then the shell can stun you. It's an anti-magic shell, I believe, so it's just like everything piled up is a very defensive character or defensive creature.
I want to
That made it so hard.
I want to know what the process of eating coins and sliming out glasses. How does that work?
I think the slime is just a byproduct of him moving, of them moving.
Well, in actual IRL biology, like snails excrete calcium because that's the main thing they eat, which is the reason why they have their shells, because that's literally just calcium excretion.
Sexy, love that.
Yeah. There's a really cool snail that actually exists where it looks like living lava, because the snail itself is red and the calcium it excretes is like solid rock, so it looks like it's got like obsidian scales all down it.
Oh, that's so
I think it's called like the volcano snail or something, but it's like an actual little armored dude.
That's so dope.
That's absolute. I kind of like. I'm not a fan of.
You're not a fan of snails anymore because apparently after this battle you were haunted by them within the hours.
Dave has just asked, or just put in chat saying, "You want to understand the digestive system of a flail snail?" ...
No.
Oh wait,
Okay, you did cut out for like 10 seconds.
What?
You cut out for 10 seconds.
You don't need to know what Dave
you
said.
just said Dave said, and then we heard nothing.
And then, yeah, you're not allowed to mention what Dave
I
said.
just got a thing up saying your internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, that
Oh.
might be it.
Yeah. I mean,
That might be the bad feeling.
That is the bad feeling. It's my internet cutting out.
no.
Dave said for you guys, because I think the streams, like, there's no problem on the stream. Anyway, Dave has said you want to understand the digestive system of a flail snail. Not like intimately. Like, I don't want like a demonstration. But me as a player, I'm just curious.
Yeah, curious.
Oh no, I legit don't know the answer. I was just wondering why you'd want to know. Because, like, I want to know how glass... Because, like, so glass is made out of primarily
It's hot sand.
Yeah.
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 But I feel like it's a different kind of glass. Like it looks like glass, but I feel like there's different properties to it.
Yeah, you said that...
It's got magic properties,
You
yeah.
said
Yeah.
that you could eat it? Who said that?
I
Who said
heard some
that?
people
Take
mention it, but I'm not sure.
responsibility.
It could be just
Let's
a
look-
fable.
Let's look up a flail snail. Just
Yeah,
like,
now we
Google
fought it.
it.
Now we can look it up.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I put it in our Discord. I think it was just a personal one. But when I went outside after the session had finished, I nearly trod on a snail. And then in the morning, my mum was like, "Oh, did you see that there's 2 snails on the windows?" And I was like, "Oh, so fun fact, we killed a snail in our D&D game." And she was like, "They're coming to get you." So,
Yeah, you've now got a vendetta against all snails.
yeah. At least I didn't tread on the snail. I feel like then some kind of snail god would like come and...
They'd cover the window.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like as a little kid, you would like accidentally step on a snail and you would feel very sorry for them, and then
And
you
then
would
you'd have a
eventually,
little
like the next
funeral.
day, you would see them all everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to have like little funerals for the snail, and you'd like pick up grass and like have a little bed of grass and there's some daisies. It's technically a
And then
fire
you just
element.
leave it there.
Yeah, and then the birds come. Well, it's technically a fire elemental, so I guess it would be superheat the materials and then the glass is produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It eats coppers and it eats rocks and everything in its area. So I could guess it
Yeah.
could just take the minerals, melt it down because it's hot, and then just make glass.
It also kind of burned off the grass, so I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. It's just consuming everything.
Just consume.
Consume.
Yeah, I also smashed a glass into the this is the story that I was waiting to tell you guys.
Here it comes.
Okay, so I was did a bit of work, came downstairs, got a cup of, or was about to make a cup of tea, put the kettle on, mug out of the cupboard, tea bag in the tea bag, leaving the kettle to boil. While I was waiting for the kettle to boil, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a good child. I will help around the house. I will empty the dishwasher. I opened the dishwasher. I picked up one glass, moved it to my other hand, picked up another glass. It slipped out of my Lego grip, apparently, and it just smashed everywhere. Like, I'm not talking like, oh, there are bits of glass. I mean, there was a fine dust of glass inside the dishwasher. Now, if
You only picked it up, or did it really slip out of your hand?
I picked it up like a couple of inches off the, like...
That happened to me once.
Right?
Yeah. I picked up a glass from the dishwasher and it just, it exploded in my hand.
Was it warm, though? Or like...
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, if there's a temperature thing, that's... But the thing is that this wasn't warm.
Yeah,
either.
it can expand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just dropped it a little bit, and it went everywhere. So I had to take everything out of the dishwasher, rinse it off to get the glass dust off, because if you eat that, it will just tear up your insides. I then had to, like, clean the inside of the dishwasher, set it off without any glass, anything in it, and then once it was finished, there was still, like, grits of, like, glass around the filter, so I had to clean the filter for, like, the second or third time, and then I had to put everything back in the dishwasher, and it was, like, a 4 or 5 hour process of... I just smashed one glass.
All of this because you started, I'm going to be a good child.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of this because I wanted to help.
Moral of the
Not
story,
only am I
you'll
going
be a
to
good
empty the
child.
dishwasher, I'm going to give it an MOT. Because I've destroyed it.
I'm out of focus. I mean, it is very clean now.
No.
Yeah.
It's just the moral of the
You're a
story.
really
Don't
good
be a good
child,
child.
as long as you don't tell them why you did it.
Yeah, well, my favourite line is, I am your favourite son, because, as I've told you before, my first passport said that I was a male on it.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
never have been, but I'm their favourite son, because they don't have any sons, so...
It's a good way of differentiating you between everyone else, though.
Yeah.
It's like, we have your son. I don't have a son. Oh, no, wait, I do.
Well, yeah, it's an old story, and I'll tell you why.
That one. Okay. You thought it's a son. It's not a son, but you can call them a son. Yeah.
What gets me is how, like, I went in and out of the country with that passport. Like,
No one questioned you.
No one questioned it. Like, I was a child at the time, but I was
That's
so
rather
obvious.
progressive.
Yeah.
But also, like, we went and got a new passport, which was a pain in the... I feel like I've told this story before, but it makes me laugh so much. Went to get a new passport, and the thing is, there was an issue because we were, like, too old, and, like, we changed between the photos that they were trying to, like, swap out. And they were so picky about it and so rude to my mum about it, but they didn't pick up that they were changing the gender on it. They were like, you filled this out wrong. Didn't notice the gender thing, though.
Amazing.
So yeah, if you're trans and you can't get a passport with a different gender on it, just go and apply for a new one and tick the wrong box.
Yeah.
Or the right box.
They won't actually notice. They'll be more picky about something else for you.
Yeah. Amazing.
As long as you fill in something else wrong, they'll never notice. Anyway, imagine backroom papers, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Becca coming up to the booth. Here's my passport. It says male, but I'm a female. It's not my fault. It's the government's
Blame
fault.
the government.
Amazing.
Oh jeez. Okay, D&D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just a personal story moment that I just felt like sharing. I'm not sorry at all.
That was good.
Yeah.
Fuck, what else happened? Detained.
God knows, fucking.
Oh jeez, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say because there's like so much that we don't know. And like okay, there's kind of an ongoing joke in the players group chat for Crimson Petal that we're gonna just give everything up and just take over hell.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for. I am so for just, you know, ruling hell with Rascal. That's like it's an aesthetic, and I'm here for it. Okay.
I'm curious because like if everything like we just arrived in Haimon and everything's gone to shit and there's a facade put up or like a shield of some sorts that shows a different reality. Like there's different possibilities that what's going on. It could be that we walked into portals of some sorts. It could be that we literally just walked through a facade. I'm just curious, like, what the fuck happens down there?
It's a portal because it was like all the way around.
Yeah.
I think
because they did mention like a rumbling started happening 10 days ago in the ground, and everything started to dehydrate.
Yeah, and we saw one of the insect dudes that was wandering around in the city like approach us at first, and they just like knock out half of us, and then we had to bitch slap everyone awake.
Yeah. That's weird.
And I do really think that the dome around Haimon is like a thing where only evil creatures can go out.
Yeah.
Because I think those flying humanoid fly things, I don't know what to call them, are evil aligned.
What if it's like a hunt thing? Where like, because evil people can come in and out, right? Have I got the right end of the stick? Nice. So what if like good people come in but can't get out?
Yeah. So
then it's like this Hunger Games situation, except everyone dies. Yeah,
I think that's the case.
Also, fuck you, Dave. If you'd researched in Winter Haven, you'd have been given a clue as to where you are.
It would, but we didn't. So we gotta deal with what we have.
Yeah. Look, Dave. Everything would be wonderful if we were actually good D&D players, you know?
Yeah, but we're not. We'd rather have the element of surprise, because regardless of if we went in there with the full knowledge or not, I think we'd all come to the conclusion of, oh, this is awful, and this is probably going to be very difficult for us to deal with, so what we can do is just be marginally more prepared than we are when we're thrown into the shit situations we usually get into.
Yeah.
I think
we'll have the element of surprise.
Yeah. I think that's most of our characters, like just going along with, like jumping into the situation and just seeing how it works out.
Yeah.
We're not all completionist gamers. Like, we just want to fucking speedrun.
Not die.
Yeah.
David said that he'd rather that we went in running in blind, which actually makes
we
me
did.
feel worst.
Oh, we did, and the same man judge just saying, "Oh, you didn't get any information."
It's like, no, we didn't. This is how I live my life personally.
Yeah.
I was reminded of a quote by David Bowie. That was the most pretentious thing I've said in a long time. I was reminded of a quote. No.
From Mr. David Bowie.
You know the one?
You know that one.
Speaking of Davids.
I don't know where I'm going, but I promise you it won't be boring. Which I feel like is just D&D.
Yeah.
It's just like, I have no idea what's happening, but my gosh, are things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing I know, and I'm happy things are happening.
I enjoy teasing you all, and I will more likely continue teasing you. Aha.
Of course.
Of course it does.
Makes sense. Yeah.
With his fucking smug smile as he sips his coffee.
I do absolutely enjoy like everything that's put together right now.
Yeah. I've learned to fear that smug smile. The amount of fear I have is unbelievable. Oh. You know what? There was a question from Dave in the Discord to us personally.
Oh yeah.
Where did my mouse go? Woo! Saying, why are people pinging me? Go away.
How dare he say that?
Outrageous. Asking where we would like to explore in this campaign. You said,
what?
Carmen, you said Shadowfell or the Feywild. Why?
Yeah. I just enjoy those places. I just like the possibility of the darker or happier version of the material plane. It's basically like the exaggerated emotions in a material plane. So I think it's very fun to explore because there's just like those little difference it's the same to the material world, but like just this little weird tweaks to it that can make it very interesting.
You know, getting stuck in a fairy court for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Fun tweaks, you know. So, hi. Is there any specific places you want to go with this campaign?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know that many.
Are you going to Snout World?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck no. I'm not entirely sure. I think in terms of like boy, he'd be interested in anything that is like either magic or mechanical based. So maybe Mechanus or something like that.
Ooh.
Just like areas where like it's got anything to do with like his gnome past or anything to do with like building a world of like artificer based things. Just because he likes to explore, and he also likes things with like high intelligent mechanisms.
Yeah. And you, Becca?
I don't know. That's why I asked you guys.
I have no clue, so answer the question for me.
Where does Kia want to go?
Yeah, Dave just said I would just want to do cool shit with the players. Same. As a player.
I just want to speak about cool adventures our characters had.
I like the idea of sailing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But as a sailor, I'm going to be like...
You're going to be picking on Dave with his knowledge of
boats. It's called a pontoon! Hi, Ed.
Hey, Ed.
Hello, Ed.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I'm... Like, as a player, I would absolutely love to, like, have to, like, face Kia's past. But as Kia, she would, like, she spent, like, a good few years running from it. So, to be, like, have that forced upon her, oh, she would not be happy.
She's scared Rascal's gonna rat her out with the information she gave him.
Not at the moment. But she's aware it could be an issue in the future. She's kind of... She thinks that she's too much of maybe a curiosity at the moment. And that she's there to help you. Like, that her purpose is that she has been hired essentially by you, although you're not paying, to help out on this thing. So she doesn't think you'd like rat her out or get her killed or something purposefully, but she's aware that like if push comes to shove, you might have to, if you know what I mean. Yeah, her internal thoughts are like, I now have to not make myself interesting, but make myself matter enough so that you don't just do it for the fun of it. What's Roscoe's thought process on that?
He's glad he has some like information on her. He has a bit of hold on, like he has a piece of information that could be valuable to people whenever it's needed. Because like he can make out the story about Kia like being a mercenary or being somewhat of a soldier by her outfit and like her story, but that doesn't give him any grip on who she really is and like what her troubles are in this world.
Yeah.
And now he has a bit of information.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember specifically what you've been told. Just that some of the mercenaries might have been out to kill her or hired to kill her. Yeah, Davis said, I love how Kia watches the other characters from a distance. Yeah. Because at the moment for her it's like, she's so interested in how everyone like works and how everything's kind of coming together. But it doesn't really involve her still. Like, she's maybe more emotionally invested, but she's not like... It's not like, oh, I grew up with these people are my family, we've worked together in the village and I've seen you every day. It's not the same level, right? And it's not going to be that same level for a while. But I think Yeah, she's just kind of interested in how it all works and like stepping back.
How this machine is working.
Yeah.
Like the group of
She's
people
orbiting the planets. That is our fucking chaotic group.
Yeah.
It's a struggle to feel that way, like your input is less than others. Always the answer lays in owning one's truth. Wow. That I wasn't prepared for such a
Hamlet?
It's like, wow, we were talking about snails coming for us like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
We go
but
deep.
yeah, I think like because like this group together like has been living together for a big part of their life, so it's interesting to as an outsider to observe and watch how this. It's not particularly a well-oiled machine, but like how this machine is functioning and how these people are building off each other and how they're living together.
Yeah.
Because they're like every single character is such a different personality, but how are they functioning? Like how is this working?
Yeah. No. Kia's. I think Kia. This is gonna like seriously like stab Kia in the back. All of this. What are we talking about? We are talking about one of our campaigns that we run every Sunday called Crimson Petal, run by the evil but wonderful Whiskey on Twitch, also known as Dave, in chat. Yeah, that is a better way of doing it. I keep forgetting that we have that command now. I keep forgetting. It's like the first time we've streamed it, it's all been up. By the way, thank you for that. All of this design, everything you're seeing here, for a moment I thought my hand was gonna like pop out of the box.
Yeah, there's a little gap there, yeah.
I'm crawling through the screen right now.
Yeah.
All done by the wonderful Ziv,
Shiv, Cartman, I don't know. Call me whatever you like.
to this side of me.
To wherever it is of me.
So, somewhere on the screen.
Point like up towards your other side. That.
There, that, yeah, there.
Sure.
Oh, it's the small things that make me laugh. Okay.
If you, by the way, want to learn more, you can put in !CarpeDM, and that will give you a few other commands you can try to find out some more information.
Yes. They have also put together all of that. Meanwhile, we've been trying to sort things out a little bit here on CarpeDM, and it's resulted in Carmen doing all of these like cool, like creative, like writing about the campaigns and putting together the layouts and like headers and stuff for social media. Meanwhile, I'm in the midst of writing like a 4 or 5 page, essentially a legal document. And I'm
We're
like,
doing the important stuff. I'm just here to represent, like, visualize our campaigns. You're really doing the important stuff here. That's not me. I'm just here like, I can put together like images to make something.
I can make it look presentable.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's, I'd rather have your job.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, like, if you need help with the legal document, it's just like I see what I can do.
I just have to formalize some of the language, and sometimes I've like, because like it's not writing about fun stuff. It's like if there's a case of bullying in the team, which I don't think is ever going to happen, but I'd rather we have it than not have it.
Yeah.
And then like having to write about that, and halfway through I'm like, I can't even think about my friends being mean to each other, so I need to go have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And break a glass while I'm doing it.
Break a glass while I'm at it. So some of them are like unfinished sentences. So I'll have to go back over that and make it comprehensible to anyone's brain who is not mine. You've never played D&D? Yeah, that's understandable. If you're
don't need a command to explain what D&D is.
What is D&D? Exclamation mark. What is D&D? Help.
How do D&D? D&D.
You come to the wrong place. How to D&D? The way I ain't doing it right.
Any questions? Everyone here would love to answer. But I interpreted that as that's not what you said, Ed, at all. But
exactly.
Are there any questions that
we would love
you
to
guys
answer.
would like to answer? Not to you, anyone else in chat, and not us.
If you have a question, drop it in chat. We'll see if we can answer it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I still look slightly like I'm in heaven. I've also realised this. I'm just talking about random shit now. This isn't about D&D anymore.
This is what this podcast just devolves into. It's just like, what can we talk about?
Yeah.
I've actually have my starter set from Amazon. I'm still trying to get my friends to play it with me. Thank you for being kind. You're very welcome. There is a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to RPGs and kind of more geeky things, and it's absolute BS because
it's been opening up slowly though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But we all start somewhere. I think a lot of people start with Critical Role or like one of the more well-known Dungeons and Dragons.
Like the Adventure Zone and that kind of stuff.
But like, I mean,
if you wanna watch someone or a group play D&D, you can follow us and watch the Sunday campaign. Sunday is very easy to watch. The Saturday campaign is pretty complicated because it's like with a very like proper DM. Dave is also proper, but Dave is still trying to figure out stuff. He's a very new DM.
If you want to commit to our Saturday games, you can check out YouTube, which is where we've archived the majority of the campaign thus far, except for one episode that we need to redo because someone didn't hit record. David.
Oh yeah, we are doing multiple campaigns. So there's the 3 of us, and there are 7 other people.
Depends.
8 other people.
We're in total we're with 11.
Yeah, in total we're 11 people. So we have 2 campaigns running. We have 2 DMs, and we have kind of some. So we have this podcast, and we've had some other shows as well. But if you go to our YouTube, you can. Crimson Petal is on there from the beginning, and you can kind of see the progression of both us as players and Dave as a DM, and seeing how this story is flowing. Because like it's a skill. Like I never thought like playing Dungeons and Dragons and the amount of improv and roleplay, like I never considered it being such like a core memory. I was gonna say a core memory.
Core memory.
Core skill, but it is.
It's a performance as well of the game.
Yeah.
And you really have to be confident enough to like kind of surrender yourself to being and playing another character.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're completely stepping in someone else's shoes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not even like... Nope, the thought's
It's
gone.
not acting. Yeah. Well, it's not acting. It's like literal improv, which is like in many ways a lot more challenging because literally everything is like under the realms of chance because we throw dice to determine how far everything goes, how well everything goes. And it's like you've got to basically give up any sense of pride because things can go wrong and you can look embarrassed and you just got to roll with it.
Yeah. But you have... Yeah. What Soph said. What they said.
You can give a glorious speech and your performance can be a nat 1. And that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Although you would probably be... Like, there's advantage... Anyway, this is getting complicated.
It's like whenever something comes up in game, especially in Crimson Petal, we like to, especially Dave likes to explain what's going on and what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I would probably be the DM for the group. But if I get my friends to join, I'll look up more videos on it. Yeah. I mean, I think if you're starting with people who also haven't played D&D before, I think like the most important thing is that you're having fun. I think it's really easy to be like a rule lawyer, and just go, you're in a tavern, what do you want to do? And the way I got some of my friends hooked on it was by getting them into an absolutely ridiculous bar fight, which I wasn't
always
planning
fun.
on doing. And they were just like, no, fuck this guy. And I was like, okay, we're going here then. And they ended up
Roll initiative.
kicking this guy through these like saloon doors, and they absolutely loved it. It's just like the starter kit that you have, the core rulebook. It's like it is very literally a guide. It's not like you have to use all of these rules or anything like that. You could just say, instead of having like a long list of various different skills, you could just say that you have charisma, constitution, strength. Fuck, what are the other ones?
Dexterity, intelligence, and wisdom.
Yeah, thank you, Carmen, because I don't know them. Do I play D&D? And just like keep it bare bones and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's
you don't need to follow each and every rule as written. You
Yeah.
can make them up. You can like make your own rules and apply them to the game. Like if you fuck up in a session, don't worry about it. Like it happens. You're all learning about it.
And most of the time, like the players don't know where the story is meant to be going. They don't know where the clues are. They don't know that it was meant to be actually a murder mystery, and now they're pirates running from the monarch. You know, like it's you can plan out so much and none of it can come up, or you can not plan anything and you can get this incredible story. It's DnD.
It's a TTRPG.
TTLGBT.
Oh, I mean, it does end up that way. Actually. It's surprising how often we do end up going down that passage.
Yeah, it's surprising how gay it can get sometimes.
Yeah. Isn't that tag like the 100% search thing that people find us that we discovered recently?
I was looking at the stats after a session, and basically I found that through like there's like obviously the Dungeons and Dragon like category, but the tags that you can add on, everyone who found us through a tag found us through the LGBTQI+ tag.
100%, which is
100% of them.
So some people might not have looked through tags, but if they did look through tags, it was through that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's like they entered D&D and they just went, okay, now where can I find the overly not straight content? These are the people I need to go for.
Yeah, but it's like almost every streamer that has that tag in their stream is either an ally or part of the community, and it's like if you're a part of that community, it's nice to have at least a safe space to join into. So I completely get why some people just have it automatically sorted on their Twitch.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting though that people have done that, because we do use other tags on our streams, but I think it's interesting that for a lot of people an easy way to find a inclusive and gentle game, if you know what I mean, and like non-gatekeeping is through the LGBTQI+ community. And I am using the full title. We should just like
it's LGBTQIA+.
Did I put the A in?
You didn't put the A in. That's fine. Like it's so like sometimes I completely forget it.
Yeah.
No, I slightly forget. I just call it when I give up halfway through after failing to attempt it 3 times. I just say the Key Smash community.
Yeah,
because of it as well. It's just
that works out.
Alphabet Mafia.
Yeah,
I like that one. Oh jeez.
The Key Smash.
Key Smash community.
It works out with everyone who's using Key Smash.
Yes, all of those letters.
Yeah. Oh no, Becca froze again. I feel like your internet is really unstable.
You guys aren't freezing for me. You guys are stuttering every now and then, but like none of your audio stopped at any point. So like it's fine coming through on stream. You just can't see me. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. Thank God you're hosting this call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise we'd be in trouble. It'd just be me going.
And then just the Zoom call dies.
Just still talking way too much.
Yeah.
So that one time, when you dropped out so heavily, where like everything crashed, and all you had was the tiki bomb music playing in the background.
That was it. That was my favourite moment, where it was just like I wasn't having a great day. The internet died. The stream stopped. The Zoom call just
took us 5 minutes to notice that you were frozen.
Yeah,
we just went, oh.
We were talking. We were having a serious talk, and Becca was just like sitting there frozen. We were like, oh, she's frozen. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and then she just like blipped out immediately from the call.
Yeah. No, it was everything just shut down. It wasn't even that it stopped or I had like alerts coming up. It just died.
The screen,
the only thing left was this stupid tiki bar music, and I almost cried.
It's like a horror. It's like a horror film. It's just like all the power goes out, and you're just left with the music.
Yeah. It's funny because this is streaming from Becca's perspective. Carmen and Soph go laggy, but Becca is fine. I know, I'm always fine.
Yeah.
But you sure?
Said, I got 3 basic rules. 1, listen to everyone, including the DM. Whoa, I can't read English. 1, listen. everyone, including the DM, must listen. 2, include other people in what you're doing. And 3, you can't win D&D, but we can. I like the end one.
There is no I in team.
But there is a me, as Taylor Swift pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
What?
Okay.
Okay.
It's in one of the songs, right? Someone back me up, right?
I don't listen to her music.
Yeah, I'm not an
either.
expert in this.
It was just like, it was Brendan Urie, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then they speak French at the beginning of the music video, and I was confused.
Sure.
There's always an I,
Okay.
says poke your eyes out game.
There's an I in pie, and you can have meat pie, and meat is an anagram for team. So
We're gonna go way too far with this metaphor.
if Dave's in the chat, he
That's
will.
what Dave
he will...
just put. He put
Yeah,
it
yeah.
I know, yeah, I knew he was gonna make it because it's Shaun of the Dead, and I was thinking, I'm gonna say it because Dave's there.
in. So,
Same brain cell, same brain
the
cell.
thing is, with lag, that it would have been that he wrote that and typed and sent it at the same time you said it.
You said it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wonderful. I honestly, like, because there's so much going on in Outer, but like things are just kind of getting in, like, not interesting. It was really good before. It's not getting interesting.
Yeah.
It means like
It's getting
The
into chapter
arcs.
3 of interesting.
Yeah.
like the arcs, like, building up. The majority of what we talk about on this podcast is Outer, and now I'm like, I don't know what else to talk about. I could tell you more stupid stories about my life if you want.
Well,
Mm.
Elturel, what we said goodbye to Artius.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
we shouldn't have said goodbye to Artius. We should.
Well, we said we will see you probably around.
Yeah. And we'll keep in contact. So it is still there, but basically Janks is like
How am I meant to keep in contact with my friend as well?
Yeah.
Definitely didn't just forget his name. He's already gone. It's fine.
he's gone.
Yeah. But yeah, I do really believe we will see him in the future somewhere. We'll see
Yeah.
when, but so
I'll meet him in
one day.
Outer probably.
Yeah, he'll be
But I
back.
feel like, what else do we have to discuss about Elturel? Because like we shared our theories, we shared what's happening. I feel like is there more we need to talk about? Like,
No, I feel like we just need to, with Outer, we just need to meet up.
yeah, we need
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah, we need to stop having our parties split.
Yeah. Which is now hilarious because now the shoe's on the other foot for Kara and Seymour, as they are the ones who need to meet up with us because we're heading to them.
Yeah.
And it's one of those cases where Dave's just like, oh, we're not gonna be like you. It's just gonna be a quick in, do what we need to do and quickly come out, and then we'll meet up at the end of the year. It's gonna be a 1 session thing, and I'm sitting there just like, you don't know Janks. Like, you don't know what he has
Because
planned.
The thing is, we're fairly certain that you guys are following the trail
Of destruction.
of what
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
meant to be following as well.
Yeah. So we'll
But
probably
we
either
were meant
meet
to
up
be
there.
but we were meant to be doing it together.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe
Skipped ahead.
what probably what our planning was meeting up, going back to Triel, reincarnating Snipe, and then doing that stuff.
So
But now what's gonna happen is we are gonna not meet up. We're gonna be like, where are you guys? And they're gonna be like, yeah, we're in the forest, and we're gonna have to go after them in the forest, have to complete the mission, and then we're probably not gonna have time to reincarnate Snipe again.
Yeah, at this rate, we'll like roll up to Outro, be like, yo guys, you need to, oh, it's destroyed, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
do anyone?
Well, you were right. The prophecy had some sort of truth in it. It's destroyed. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Ed, you listen to the music and the background music of the... Wow. Ladies and gentlemen.
Start again.
the
Take
English
Yeah.
language. Deep breath.
Restart, reboot. Go again.
I listen to the music in the background of this podcast. Lol, I listen to everything, no limits. This is a instrumental version of BTS. Is it just like a study thing, or did I put on a specific album? It's
that
just the piano
copyrighted?
collection. Because their music gets stuck in my head, and I don't want to get copyrighted or DMCA'd because they would do that.
Dave, you don't know the prophecy? Really? Davey says he doesn't know the prophecy.
You don't? No, you do know the prophecy.
You do know the prophecy, you just forgot it.
Yeah.
It was. When
It's the prophecy in Daggerford.
It was, the dagger for prophecy with the master needs minions.
Fuck, what was it? You guys probably have it written down.
Yeah. The master needs minions, Elzra will fall.
Yeah. So kind of.
Let's... different notebook. Hold up.
Let's go find it.
I think I should have
This is
written
what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the. Oh, fine, I'll get my notebook.
Good lord.
I was attempting
through my
to
40
prove that I was
pages.
a super fan. Look,
Okay, let me recite the poem. No. It's called it's from the shaman in Daggerford in the crypt. Torms something. I don't know what it's called. I know the thing about the other area.
I know that prophecy.
What other area?
Prophecy.
What
other
prophecy then?
There's only been one prophecy.
Yeah. Where I don't know, if you're talking about Hattie's prophecies, that's Janx's decision and whatever the hell.
You probably. He doesn't know about the tarot cards. That's what probably he means.
Oh, is it the tarot cards?
Probably the tarot cards.
Wait,
because that's
he knows
some sort of
slightly.
prophecy.
He knows that something happened, but I don't think he knows exactly what is planned for Hardbuckler.
No.
But then again, we didn't either. But the stuff we did in Squad must confirm that something is going to happen in Hardbuckler.
The tarot thing? Okay, Dave. Okay. There's one prophecy. Right. The master needs minions. That's the shaman words. We have a tarot. Jesus, tarot thing. And we have a blood pact.
Yeah.
There's no other prophecy. There's a blood pact. Yeah.
Oh, the blood pact.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the blood pact.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But he wasn't there to witness that, so he's not allowed to know that.
Good point from Ed. There's always two versions of the prophecy: the good guys and the bad guys. Which one you got?
I think the bad guys.
Yeah.
Master needs minions. Eltra will fall.
Yeah, I think that's the bad guys prophecy.
Yeah. Technically, we've seen the good side as well. We've kind of come to the realization that we need to choose what side we're on, because the good guys are technically falling for a trap from the bad guys, and we know of that trap, but we don't want to stop the good guys trying to do their work.
Yeah. I think because Infernal Legions march across the blasted wasteland. That sounds like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no kind of the heroes will arrive kind of thing. I still think we're just the minions for the master now.
Yeah.
I think it's us. I think we are the bad guys now.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Which of the many?
Which of the many of the fucking abyssal bitches are we serving in this case?
Are you sure often the best people wear horns? Don't tell that to Dave. Don't tell that to Dave.
Seymour's we've already ripped into Seymour, so...
Yeah, we're very good at ripping into Seymour.
I could recite the complete poem for Ed, just so he knows the entire poem.
Yeah, just so you know.
It's a prophecy, but... The master needs minions. Infernal legions march across a blessed wastelands. The companion shines darkly in a sky of fire and ash. The master needs minions. The war ever rages. The fallen shall be avenged. Betrayal runs deep. The master needs minions. The moon will turn thrice more. Eltra will fall, and a tide of blood will rise to meet it. The master needs minions. The master needs minions.
I've
already confirmed that. We've confirmed. Yeah, I think we've confirmed the second verse. Basically, betrayal runs deep. That's basically the whole thing with Thavius Krieg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Hattie's warning, and then Orgmar's.
And Hilra.
Thing, and Helra.
Yeah, Helra.
And then...
Fallen shall rise. They defeated, the vampire armies in Elsewhere previously, so they're probably going to come back.
Fallen avenged, who was wronged? This is what we're trying to work out. Not very hard, I'm going to be honest with you. We're really not, working hard to work this out.
It's just, Yunogul is involved. And Yunogul and the Hellriders are combined, and... I don't have the brain power for this today.
Does anyone truly have any brain power in the middle of this international panini?
No.
I believe the war ever rages is about the Blood Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fallen shall be avenged. Well, the person who risked heard the last rites. No, not the last. Well, the last rites. I don't know what it's called.
Last
But-
confession. Or
Last
whatever it
confession,
was.
yeah. Wrist heard the last confession from someone, and that's the reason why she went on a killing spree.
Is she avenging them though?
She is fulfilling the last confession.
Yeah.
Dude.
But I'm not sure. I think to avenge someone, they have to be killed, and then you have to go and kill the person who killed them. I don't think fulfilling.
Yeah, but I
last
feel like
rites.
maybe in the last confession, because the people.
It wasn't fully wrist either way, was it? Because it was discovered it could be something else. Like she was just a vessel for some like golden
Yeah.
force in that fight, which is the reason why she shot in the air and never came back down.
Yeah.
You
What goes up
probably-
must come down.
What goes up must come down. I love it how we were universally like, what the fuck did you go?
Yeah, just like you're out of it, like initiator, and just like no, we're not.
You're probably all right in the first place. People have instincts for a reason. My instincts are always wrong with Janks. The thing is, Ed, everything is up in the air.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Well,
what goes up must come down.
let's come down. God. Yeah, no, I think like there is a universal like red line you can follow in this entire story that's going on. But because every little piece is like so far from the red line, it's difficult to like connect them to the lines. If that makes sense.
I understand Janks knows probably nearly everything he needs to know about the D&D rules of the world he's making.
Yeah.
So I feel like he had the basics down of like the basic plot of like things that would go on in Faerun and just thought, what would happen if this happened? And it's just playing that through us because we're a bunch of
Yeah.
fucking idiots that allow bad shit to happen.
Yeah. Didn't Janks say that what he liked about it so much was just the fact that we didn't question anything and we were just like, okay, give me the shiny egg.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
which, that egg, terrible idea. The longer I think about it, the more I'm like, Hattie needs to be locked up somewhere because she is a danger to herself and everyone around her.
I think we fully accepted that at this case.
This spry, and I'm just gonna, because I haven't read this. Hattie Curtis,
Your character
this
description.
spry and energetic halfling will never fail to make you laugh. Aw.
Mm.
She has her wits about her.
Is that how you write it? I don't know.
Wits.
Wits.
As in wit.
mean-
There's no
Like
That
wit's
mean-
end.
Notes
I
everything
mean-
down and make sure she has new information for Candlekeep. Personally, I don't write anything down. I know nothing.
It's about your character.
You
It's not about you.
But I just want the comparison there. I can't read English, but there are certain pieces of information that keep slipping away from her. Will she be able to get a grip on the book? That is her story. Oh, that's good. Hit me with another one. Because I can't.
You can put it like it's each. I have written down something for each character. So if you want to know something about a
Okay.
character, just drop down a exclamation mark.
What are you, audience members? Hi.
It's just WITS, right?
Hey,
wait,
Siri.
wit's end. Is there a H in it? Hang on.
How do you
Yeah, I removed the
spell
H, no.
wits?
There are two words pronounced like that. W-I, wit. W-I-T.
Yeah. Okay.
With an S.
WIE. WIT.
WIT, yeah.
S.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
'cause that's WIT is wit. We say wit, but
Wit?
that's the color white in Dutch.
Yeah.
Wits,
Oh.
yeah. Wits end indicates like you're at the end of your wits. Whatever your wit is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read you this description of what it means. The capacity for innovative thought and quick understanding, keen intelligence, good sense, a natural
I tried to be
aptitude for
positive
using-
about her.
A witty person. A natural aptitude for using words and ideas in a quick and innovative way to create humour. A witty person.
Oh, it's a word that describes Sadie, I feel like.
Sure.
Yeah, it
I was
does.
writing this at 3
you-
a.m.
you're
last
not-
night.
It was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the common
'cause, like,
sense
when-
thing that I was like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not a smart aleck, and like you're not like
Thank you.
an intelligent idiot, like just haunting around saying I know everything. You're just like I have intelligence. I will just use them sparingly.
Yeah.
I'll
lack
use it when needed.
thought. Speaking of lacking
just
thought, how does phone do?
What,
Yes.
what function are you trying to pull on the phone?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Wonderful. I'm glad we concluded that.
Yeah. But yeah, if you see spelling errors in the Nightbot thing, just like
Okay.
tell me.
Okay.
I want to fix it.
Snipe. Born and raised on another world, they are thrown into Faerun. I read that correctly. Heck yeah. Through some dealings with a lordling of the abyss. Not because of their human half, but because they're possessed, yes, past tense.
Possessed.
A very powerful demon, a demon that could turn the tides on the ever-raging blood wars. But now that the demon is lost and their human body is decaying, it's a race against the clock. Will they find a solution in time to get their demon half back?
Nah.
Nah.
Nah,
They dropped
dead.
Kaya.
They dead. Kaya.
They're dead.
Kaya, our Fire Genasi bard, comes from a complicated history. Even though she's been living under the alias Kaya for a little while now, she is still attached to the memories that her previous life holds. After everything went up in flames, she found a sign of her old troop. Now she is willing to give everything for just one more moment with an old friend.
Aww.
Oh, Kaya! Kaya!
I'm not sure
Well,
if they're
she's- and
all like
she's stuck
completely
with us.
correct, but
No,
They're
correct.
enough.
Yeah.
Seymour. Seymour is a beautiful person, bound to the Nine Hells through a contract with the Pit Fiend, all to save his... It's save, not safe. His dying mother. I'm gonna be
Thank you,
I'm
thank
gonna be
you.
really blunt.
No,
with
so-
it.
yeah, no, do it, please, because
To-
bilingual typing
It's
this at
fine,
3 a.m.
To save his mother, but still he is looking for more. He wants to explore the depths of all of these powers. I can't read English. Will he be able to pull off any tricks he's planning, or will his deals all go up in smoke? Ooh, because of the
Nice.
smoke on the swordy swords.
Yeah.
And then
It's like his dutiful works for the Abyss. It's just like he's dutiful in a way that he will turn up at the beginning of registration in school, say he's there, and then immediately get up and leave the classroom after that.
I can't type, damn it.
I
There we go.
also now realise that the commands aren't showing up on the
Mhm.
text thing.
That's better, so it won't clutter up like
That's
everything.
true. However, I'm
Yeah.
reading up nothingness. Anyway.
People can read chat themselves.
No, but when it's uploaded onto YouTube, because for some reason someone decided that sharing this chaos for longer was a good idea. Helra,
That's true.
a worthy and loyal
Paladin.
thank you, of Eltergard. She
Yeah,
fled her family in the Underdark and has made quite a name for herself on the surface, but still she gets haunted by her past. Will it catch up with her, or will she outrun it? You've got eyes? Poke your eyes out games? I thought they were poked out.
Oh no,
No?
we're playing.
Comedy.
And then Reina. It's hard to write about your own character. Like, I'm pretty decent with writing about your guys' character, and then I'm like, how do I describe my own character?
How do I words?
Mm.
I love it how
Yeah.
most of Hattu's was like, she's funny, and everyone else is like, here's their story.
Yeah, but
You've got to
yeah.
have a character of comedic relief.
Yeah.
Reina Varon. Varon? Varon.
Baron.
Cat.
Baron.
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're in
yeah.
heaven now.
We love a
Ah.
holy cat here. A half-elf born in noble family with a dark secret, while raised... Excuse my contact lenses. While raised like any normal high elf in Waterdeep, she knows that something isn't completely right. Now she's trying to understand her heritage at any cost, and if this ever gets revealed, it could ruin everything. Oh yeah, it's Poke Your Eyes Out games. I have a collection. It's massive like my sword.
I like to keep my eyes in place.
I would prefer to continue with my eyes existing within my skull.
Yeah, same.
Hi, good morning.
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 Is it morning? Well, not here. It's not morning.
It's
you can tell
4
by the
o'clock.
fact I'm currently in
Good day.
heaven.
Okay, do we want to read out the Crimson Petal? Jesus. Crimson Petal, or should we keep talking about Elturel? Because we're jumping all over the place right now.
Should we have a quick break?
Yeah.
And just
That's
get back
a good idea.
Let's give it a minute.
recovered our brain cells.
Yeah, I didn't have any in the first place, so we're gonna just try and polish the 2 that we already have. I'm never doing that action on screen ever again. Because I think one of my hands was out of shot.
Yep.
My other hand was here. I was polishing. We're moving on.
Good. Polishing something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a break. Get some coffee,
And
get
we're
some
back.
drinks,
We'll see
go to
you
the
in 10
bathroom.
minutes.
We'll be back in 10.
We'll see you in a bit.
Maybe 20. We'll see how we
Okay,
go.
we'll see.
Oh my god.
Oh, feel free. Oh, I'm not sure. No, are we out? We're out.
They
probably.
can still hear you.
Okay, feel free to use any commands. Just type CarpeDM in !CarpeDM and we'll see all the commands.
A confirmation noise.
Hello and welcome back to I didn't fix I was gonna mess around with the chat box. I'm gonna mess around with the chat box.
Welcome back to messing around with the chat box. Oh, I should have done that. Fantastic intro.
Today we're messing
back to
around
the
with the chat
podcast.
box for another hour.
Okay.
But yeah,
what was I had thoughts.
spill
The
them.
English language has left me.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, thoughts.
Rip
Never to be seen again.
they arrive sometimes, but most of the time they're just leaving.
They are, but passing fancies in the night.
They found the front
never
door and the
stop
back
by.
door.
Yeah.
They walked in and out.
Mm. Lights are on, but there's nobody home.
That's just a brilliant description of my mind. So Snipes' Snipes' backstory is that they were pushed into a world without like planning, kind of just waking up in a room, right?
Yeah.
So what would you guys do if you woke up in a universe that you didn't know, didn't understand, didn't have any reference to? Not like waking up in D&D world, because we have like background knowledge of how everything works. But what if you know nothing?
And just get dropped into the world.
Yeah.
What do we have on our persons?
Nothing.
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 Just
Oh
clothes.
god.
You just wake up in like the equivalent of like a hotel room or a room at an inn or a pub, and you don't know anything.
I would I would search through every cabinet that's in the room and just try to see if I can find something
Roll
that references.
initiative,
No.
Suddenly you're
Yeah.
playing D&D.
Yeah.
I was saying, go to the window and open, see what the world looks like out the window.
Yeah.
I think
Then test how gravity works. I
Test
think
how
is one of the things.
Can I jump?
Well, you know, if you're in a new world and a new universe, you've got to make sure that the physics still apply.
that's
Yeah.
a good point. Stop throwing things around, seeing how things work.
Yeah.
Like I think the go-to is just like you have like an option, right? You can either go to like the innkeeper and be like, "Hey, I have no memory of anything," and you can like go for like the upfront route, and you probably end up like talking to like officials and stuff, or you could just like back room mess with stuff.
Just like pretend to be someone.
Yeah. I would probably be the type of person like seeing where I am, rifling through stuff, trying to maybe find something that I can link to whatever happens or whatever this place is.
Yeah.
And then ask a few questions and then leave. Just be like, I'm not gonna stay here. I need to go somewhere else but here.
Yeah.
It's an interesting conundrum. Because it depends on the type of person you are. Like, if it's a new person, if it's a new place where, like, no one knows who you are, it's a chance for you to, like, change exactly how you would act personally. Because if it was a case of me just acting how I usually act, I'd probably have a panic attack for the first 2 minutes. And then, like, not move. And just inch my way out of the room day by day.
I think what I would do is go and talk to the innkeeper, and like I think you'd be like inherently aware that like potentially like you're in danger, right? Because like you're in a vulnerable position. So I don't think I'd let like the cat out of the bag, so to speak. No cats and bagses. Bagses? My precious.
No, bagginses.
Catses and bagginses. Fuck. Yeah, I think I'd go like keep it on the down low for a while. But like if nothing was working, I'd just go and be like, hey, help, I don't know what's going on, Mr. Police Officer.
What if it's a place where like it's not a different universe, but it's like it's a different point in time that's like in the past?
Oh.
What would you do?
I mean, you'd start a plague, right?
Yes, maybe.
No, not like, I know what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start a plague.
I'm going to start a plague, no.
But it's like when, you know, colonialism, white people went and spread, like the Spanish flu situation, where people who weren't used to the germs were catching things that they couldn't survive and didn't have the antibodies for.
Yeah.
So you'd probably kill a lot of people inadvertently. Other than that, I think it would just be like, I probably, depending on the time, I try and present myself as like, using my knowledge of history to my advantage.
Yeah.
And like, not to get like burnt at the stake, not that happened all that often, but like, or like hung, drawn and quartered, but like, I'd be like, I know the future. Like, I'd be that person.
And they wouldn't believe you.
They wouldn't believe me until it comes true.
I would keep it to myself, though. I would not be spreading that around.
Would you not?
No, because if it's like, if you're gonna tell what's gonna happen in like 10 years and that you're still in the world, and they know you predicted that, and it depends on the time period, they will probably try to find you and hunt you down and use you for something.
No. What you do is you say that like you join like a church and you become like a nun or something, and then you put on a massive show that like you've talked to God and like he's told you all of this stuff is gonna happen. That's what you do.
They'd probably think you're possessed by the devil, though. Is the issue.
No, you're just like, Jesus.
There is a short story, like chapter section of book called Trafalgar, where the main protagonist called Trafalgar is like this weird human dude where like he's just he's probably described as like if Doctor Who had a bastard brother, because he has this strange time traveling machine that he can just travel the universe in, and he comes across a planet that he discovers is basically Earth but in like the 1800s, and so he lands in Spain like 5 days before Christopher Columbus goes towards the Royals to say, can I have like a galleon to go and discover a different trade route to India, which is how he discovers America. And with that knowledge, he goes in and basically says, well, they don't know like that China exists and they don't know these countries exist. So instead of me saying I'm from a different world, they'll say, oh, I'm from this area of the world. And this is the technology that's just so happens to be there, this flying machine I have. And yeah, he basically just like, goes alongside with the royals. He's granted as like a genius, and then he's just like, well, instead of getting galleons and sailing across, you know, the sea, I could just take you to America in my flying machine. And so he does that and basically alters a different form of like colonization just happened in America.
That's weird. I mean, if you could make it not, you know, raping and pillaging. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. He just like wants to attempt to see what was going on. And there was another thing that's going on in the story as well, but I don't think I want to spoil it because it is a good book.
Okay.
Like, it's
I do want
fantastic book to read.
Yeah. You've been talking about this book like on our server.
It was just such a surprising book because like it was one of those things where my brother and I don't know how to buy presents for each other. And so my brother's way of like getting around that is saying, okay, what's a Penguin classic that I can just buy every year and just give, you know, my sibling? And so he just managed to just find a book and said, okay, here's a book, read at your own pace. And then I finally sat down and read it, and it was actually really good.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I really want to read that book. Ed has also said in chat saying, I put a cell phone in one of my players' bags. Haven't noticed it. I think it's going to ring soon. Oh, I love that.
Would there be signal in that time for you to call anybody? As much as people say, oh, I'll bring a cell phone, it's like, yeah, but is there any kind of service?
There's no connection to anything. Yeah.
There's a book.
All you'd have is your photos and your notes.
It would be an object. Like you will be able to use it until the battery runs out, and
just a shiny screen. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a book that was on Kickstarter. that I signed up for and supported. Kickstarter, and it's called The Book, and it's based on this premise, right? And like the advertising for it was like,
you're thrown back in time.
Yeah, you're thrown back in time. What do you do? And it gives you like all of this information on like how to make a bike or like combustion engines. So it's like
that's actually really
if you're
smart.
given one thing that you have to take back in time with you, what is it? And the answer is that book, because it will give you perfect instructions on how to do
survive.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a really fun idea for a book.
Yeah.
It's basically just like the bleeding survivalist books, or like dangerous book for boys or daring book for girls, where it's just a manual on like Boy Scouts like survival basis methods, and then just saying, oh, by the way, this is how a TV works.
Yeah.
Try build it.
Yeah. I think I had an email from them that I need to read. Anyway, they're like, give us your information. I shall do that. I would thrive being tossed into the past. Same. I think there's a lot of like all of this, like the ability to talk to each other long distance. Like I was gonna make a YouTube video on it, and it's still happening. It's still in the process. Do not judge me on my time management abilities. But like the comparison of how long distance communication worked, going from like getting like silk and covering it in wax so that, and like sewing it and like sending it along the Silk Road via messenger, and that taking like 2 weeks or something to get somewhere, whereas now we can like sit at other like different parts of the world and like talk to each other as if we're in the same room. And like it's brilliant and I love it, but there are so many downsides. Like someone who you have never met, will never meet, can like call you a dickhead online and they move on with their day or whatever, and you can't. Like
you got access to everything, but everything got access to you.
So I think I'd get bored very quickly, like with the comparison of like, what was the thing of like the telegraph for one day holds more facts and information than a peasant in like olden days, Tudor times probably, had like access to for their entire lives. Like
the comparison between the information we have nowadays and the information they had
like
then.
illiteracy as well. Imagine being dumped there and being able to read and no one else around you can. Read and write.
Yeah, well, that was a big part of the world back in the days, because no one really had any formal education on learning languages, learning basics. Nowadays, almost everyone has access to it and is able to read, write, and speak normally.
I mean, yes.
And I was gonna say, like, in addition to that, like, there's also mannerisms that developed from like just knowing that, because I think it was around about the Tudor times, there was one bishop that was hailed as a saint, and the only specialist trick he could do is he could read without moving his lips. So he could just sit there and just read a book, because illiteracy was just such a high thing that people could only learn through words, so they had to move their mouth and say the words as they read. But he was the only person to like silently read, and he was hailed as a saint for it.
I mean, there's also the issue of so the English language that we have now is a mix of, so there was a time period in which when the French ruled England, there was the United Kingdom. It was actually England back then, because then they were the Scots. The kingdom didn't exist. Anyway, moving on from that, colonialism. So when the upper classes were speaking French, we, like the peasants were speaking a form of English that was changing rapidly. So which is why we have kind of like cow and beef, because beef comes from boeuf, which is the French for cow. So that's
Boeuf,
what. So
Le boeuf.
because people didn't say, "Oh, I'm eating cow," because they didn't have the money to buy the meat, they would just call it a cow. So, which is where the kind of two layers of languages come in, and why everything merged together. There's a better way of putting it. What I'm saying is like a terrible explanation of it, but because there was the disconnect between the upper classes speaking French and the lower classes not speaking French, and then when it all fell apart and the English then ruled England, it merged again. So the layering of languages happened. Please, if you know more about this and you're in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, from my understanding, that's so like the version of English we speak would be nothing like the version of like Old English that was spoken back then. Which is a problem. So we'd roughly be able to, like, we'd be able to understand them, but they probably would have a hard time understanding us.
Yeah, we have more words now that they didn't.
We have knowledge of their old language.
Yeah.
We know that they spoke in a different way.
I don't think they have broadband as a word back then.
Broadband. Computer.
Yogurt. I don't think they have yogurt.
No.
Yeah. I love the entire, like, if you put the two people from, or like 5 people from 5 different times, different cultures, different countries in one place at one time, it would be chaos, but at the same time you know that there would be those kind of links, and like humans have always been humans, right? The whole thing of like, oh, I fucked your mum here, and written in the graffiti in Greece. Like, we've always had the same sense of humor. Or like the graffiti from like
in
when
Pompeii,
we were living in caves, and it was like really high up, and it just says, they were like, this is incredible, this writing, we don't know what it means. They worked out what it means. It says this is really high.
Yeah. Or
mental.
Usually like a universal language also everyone likes to do is like put down so and so were here on walls and on trees, like marking their spots on in the place, basically.
Yeah, making a mark in history.
I have never been human. I am a fictional character. Well, the self is a construct, so...
Let's not go into a deep existential talk.
I'll be honest with you, like, since cow discussion, the only thing that's been running through my head is Shia the beef.
Oh no.
Because his name is LaBeouf, and you just said, well, that means beef. I was just thinking Shia the beef in my head this whole time.
Shia LaBeouf,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Maybe he has like ancestors who were like cattle farmers or butchers or something that specialized in butchering cows.
He certainly has the beef.
He has beef.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, and now beef means to like have an issue with, like, have an argument, or like have, like, if you have beef with someone.
Can you imagine, like, explaining to a Shakespearean what simp means?
Yeah, oh my.
No. Yeah, but like all of our language has like roots in like Old English or whatever, or at least English has roots in Old English. But like
language has its roots in language.
Language has roots.
That's a real quote there. Same as knowledge is knowledge. That's
language has its roots in language.
Language has roots in language. That's right.
We need to share this woke quotes
one day.
We've done it many times.
No, I mean, like, we have to copy everything and put it in a woke quotes on our Discord.
Shall we talk about D&D?
Sure.
Probably should.
Look, we said at the beginning.
We have something more to talk about.
Language.
Yeah.
Look, we said at the beginning of this, because Carmen isn't here, it's going to be absolute chaos. And it was.
Carmen isn't here, I'm here.
Carmen is
Naomi
here.
Is here.
Naomi is here. I'm already not functioning fully.
I was thinking of Kaya instead of Naomi. No.
Yeah. I can see the confusion.
It's like Kia and Kaya.
Carmen.
For some reason, internally, I haven't got it mixed up, like, verbally, but I get Magnus and Rascal mixed up.
Nila did as well.
Nila did that as well, yeah.
In a good joke from Soph.
Nila, also known as Naomi.
That joke you made, Soph, it's still a great joke.
What joke was that?
Like, Nila said, I'm gonna go up to Magnus. Well, she meant to say Magnus, but I'm gonna go up to Rascal and pet them.
Yeah.
So, amazing job. That's Kia's job.
Yep.
I was out of
didn't know
nowhere.
what to
I was just like
say.
the one spot because at the beginning of that session I was a little bit anxious because it was just a rough day. So I was just like, I'm going to be a bit quieter this session. So like, you know, I'll happily RP, but like I'm not going to be bouncing in like every hot second to deliver a boyish joke. And then that happened, and I was like, I
gotta do it. Yeah,
I gotta do it. It's there. It's been offered to me on a silver platter.
it's in front of me, and I gotta grab it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ed is also a princess. Deep stuff here. You hear it here first. Language, based in language. Yeah.
Man. Hey, Naomi's in chat.
Naomi is here. Finally, we'll probably get back on task.
We're going to talk about D&D again.
We only talk about D&D when another member is present. So when Dave was in chat, we were...
Naomi, ask us a question in chat and we'll answer it. Please make it D&D related.
Yeah, because we've been talking about the roots of language.
We took the last half an hour talking about language.
Yeah, and what happens if we go back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, or in another world entirely. Trying to pull a snipe scenario.
We really want to make it happen, you know?
Yeah.
So, well, that's an interesting question. If the Road to Elturel characters like crash landed in Snipe Sword, which is this world, what's the first thing you do as your characters? Like, what do you think the first thing they try and do is?
Try and do?
They would be very confused about like technology and how well populated and how populated everything around them is.
Cars would scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, they would be like...
and how much it's taken over the landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hattie would like be scared first. And then she would like fully take it in her stride. She'd be like, this is so cool, I'm writing about everything. A mobile phone. She'd probably get like...
She'd walk into Curry's PC world and get lost and not be seen for a week and just buy everything that's in the shop.
I don't have money, but I'm gonna take everything here.
No. The thing is, if you had the currency, you'd have proper solid gold.
Yeah, and that's worth more.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a pound. Yeah, I think she'd be like, I'm a YouTuber now.
Hattie at an IKEA.
Hattie at IKEA?
Oh, it's IKEA.
Oh, she would live in IKEA. She'd love like the, you know.
It's just like, why would I ever have to leave? They even have food here and beds to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like buckets of soft toys. Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be fascinated with the ability to like get fashion, and like mass producing things. She would love.
Yeah.
Until she understands capitalism, and then she'll be like, nope. But yes.
Yeah.
I have a weird question. It's completely un-D&D related, but we had a hype like 2 years ago here in the Netherlands where people would try to stay at IKEA.
Yeah,
just
that's the thing.
sleep there for the night.
People still try and do that.
Like literally almost every Dutch YouTuber did it. And they got kicked out. But...
What was there was at one point there was
an IKEA ad based on that concept.
Yeah.
Of, like, it was people, and then they did another version where it was cats just like running around an IKEA store and like sleeping everywhere. And I think like that sparked people to the idea of just like, oh, let's just go sleep in an IKEA. There's no point going anywhere else.
Yeah.
What was that? There was like a hide and seek game planned online.
Yeah.
That was. I really wanted to take part in that. I was like, that sounds like
amazing.
The best thing. What career do you think, like, if it was like, you can't go back to your world, and you don't have, like, magic, what do you think what career choice do you think your character would make?
I'm not sure. Well, if Snipe was to go back as they were, like, not as a fully whole anymore, and the way the route's going in terms of, like, reincarnation, I think Snipe would become a nature reservationist, so somebody who works for like nature charities.
I like
because that is kind of like an ongoing like title that they have like in relation to Morwen, in that they are a guardian of a river, so to like make sure nobody like fucks around or like does anything like stupid and that kind of stuff. So they'd probably be like a nature reservationist, just like looking after things.
Ed says
it's interesting.
I'd be a bard or a smith or a smithing bard.
Perfect. It's interesting because my mind went to the same thing for Reyna, like being someone who looks after the nature and like everything, because like that's her comfort place. Like
Yeah.
being able
Think
to
she'd be
walk,
like a gardener, or
yeah, being able to like explore the woods and explore the beach and just everything that's like around her. And if the role is a perfect copy of this world right now, she would be someone who would completely go for that goal and just try to like fix and everything and be able to do something with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Naomi said that Kaya would still be a wandering bard, so like a circus person or something.
Yeah.
I think,
or a busker, just like standing on the street, collecting money.
Yeah, I'm an actual blacksmith, but I never stopped telling stories. That's dope. I once knew someone who wanted to become a blacksmith.
It's a cool profession.
Sad story. Moving on. I think Hattie would...
Librarian or bookshop owner? Or...
No, I don't. I think she'd find it too boring. I think she'd either go down like the influencer YouTuber route, and like she'd either try and go for like being famous, or she would...
There's a road in Liverpool called Bold Street, and it's like infamous for being like a small pocket of Brighton, which is a massive overstatement because it is still quite rough around the edges. But like all the shops there are just like independent coffee shops and like bookshops and charity things and like a lot of hipster locations. And every time I think of Hattie, I just think like Hattie would be the one person to walk down that street and get a job in every single shop, and that is just how they sustain themselves, of just like having part-time jobs in every single of those kinds of shops.
Ed's off. Bye, Ed. See you later.
Take care.
Take care. Yeah, I think Hattie would do something like that. She would become a like
it's like a part-time job.
Influencer famous person, part-time job person, or she would go around.
She wouldn't settle down anywhere really.
She would go around
no career.
Like, stealing things and robbing people. Like she'd be using, because like monk skills are like learnt abilities. It's not like magic or something. Like she wouldn't be able to like punch someone through a wall, but she'd still be able to like do a backflip, you know. So I think she'd
So you should be a street runner, like parkour and that kind of stuff?
I don't think so. I think she'd want to be doing it with a purpose, so she might become like a bank robber or something. Like she just...
Imagine Hattie with a gun.
I don't think she'd have a gun. No. I just think she'd be like a cat burglar or something. Because like I don't think she'd have the same... I think she'd have more of a fuck it type approach. I don't think she'd be like, there's a right way of doing things, like morally good. Like I don't think she'd have that. I think she'd just be more of a neutral good person.
Yeah. Would you be neutral or good, or would you just be true neutral?
True neutral, probably. Like
if she... I don't care about the law, and I also don't care about how you want to live your life. I don't care about what's good. I don't care about what's evil. I'm just doing whatever.
Like if she isn't having fun in this world, if like you guys are like off in forests or whatever doing boring stuff, and like Kaya's like off doing stuff and things, I think she just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to pick a country on the map and I'm just gonna steal some stuff. Like she might go down the route of like stealing stuff from the British Museum and like giving it back to, like she might turn into like a Robin Hood type character, but I don't think she'd be like, I don't think she'd settle down. I don't think she'd stay in one career or whatever. But
I don't see Hattie becoming just a person that does one job for the rest of their life.
It's like an errand lad.
Yeah.
She never really has a place to stay. She has to depend on where her friends live to like stay in one place, because police would catch her if she ever had a home.
Hattie turning up at whatever nature reserve that both Snipe and Raina are working at, like, hey guys, I need somewhere to sleep for a week, but then I need you to tell no one that I was here. Okay.
Amazing.
It's got a secret stash hiding underneath the boardwalks of the nature reserve.
Yeah. Just like, if you go in here, you know the spot. Go there. You know. There's a place you can sleep somewhere in this forest. But you know the place.
Jumps over the counter and opens a trapdoor and just disappears for a day.
Yeah. Hey, Star-Lord's back. Hi, friend.
Welcome.
Nice.
Yeah, we're not talking about D&D at all, really. Well, we are
We
actually.
were.
Now we are. Now we are. Here's a question: if you guys, just you personally, not like your characters, if you could have anything you wanted, you could have any career you wanted, just like that. Like, obviously, you'd have to like still work and stuff. What would you do? What would you have? What would you just never work?
Ugh.
Because like I was, like there's a conversation in this house, not
Yeah.
where it's like, what would you do if you won the lottery? And the conversation before the pandemic was always with my dad, who was like, I couldn't stop working. I'd have to, like, I'd always want to be doing something just to keep my mind busy. But now he's like, no, I would just like retire and like do projects and stuff, but like it would be fine. So in that, like, let's change the question. If you won the lottery, what would you do? Other than donating to charity, because I feel like that's...
Yeah, I think like me and my brother always had the thing where it's like we either give the majority of the money to like somebody who really needs it, so like friends and families, donate the majority of it to charity, and whatever's left, the pair of us would burn it, because we just dislike the idea. We dislike the idea of being rich, but I don't know. I think the first thing I'd try to do is like just travel.
Yeah.
In the non-pandemic world we live in, I would just go traveling.
Yeah, I think I set myself up so that I could continue to make money, so that, like, invest in a business or something, stocks, whatever it is, just so I have money continuously coming in, so I could then continue to help charities and people who need it. Like, I love the idea of sitting down with some friends and being like, these are my credit card details. Let's go on Kickstarter or GoFundMe and just like pick out like interesting projects or students that need help or people who need their medical bills paid, and just like have an evening of just going through and just paying for as many people's GoFundMe as possible.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do with my life.
Yeah. There's a selfish part of me that's just like, okay, if I have the money, I'm just gonna put it like literally underneath my bed. I'm gonna make sure it's off the bank. I just have it in my own hands, and then make sure that the people around me and that's a very selfish part of me. The people around me and everyone I know is having a good life and is doing okay. But the other part of me just really wants to, like, because I never. Like, if I make money and if I have enough money to live for the rest of my life, I would... It's a very weird thing. I would not pursue my dream job. I would actually try to go... It's so weird, but I would actually try to become a politician. To not because of the money, but because I already have the funds. So if anything happens to what happens there, I would be able to still live properly. So I would be able to try to get into politics and try to see if I can make a change in something that's happening in this country.
I'd love to be able to continuously help people, and like help people in a way that people like isn't the obvious way of just like giving someone money, like that's like an easy fix, like putting a band-aid over an issue. Like that situations are more all-encompassing than just needing money. But Naomi just put in chat saying, I recently learned that humans have this phenomenon called hedonic treadmill, where people return to their base happiness level no matter what the circumstances they're in. So people who won the lottery and people who are in accidents that paralyze them both report the same levels of happiness as a control group. Or it's that thing of like money can't buy you happiness, but then the response that I've heard quite a few times is, well, I'd rather be crying in a BMW than on a bike, but you're still crying.
It's exactly the thing where it's like, well, it doesn't buy you happiness. It's like, well, that's because everyone's on a pursuit of your own happiness. Like, what you think is happiness with the capital H is like the capitalist happiness we're thinking, I'm just going to buy stuff until I'm happy. Like, that's obviously not the way to do it. You've got to find what it is that makes you happy personally and pursue it.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a bitch that, yeah, I can understand that, like, people can say, yeah, but you still need money to pursue that stuff.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like I've been reading like because people have been writing books about how especially how the Dutch system has been kind of crumbling underneath the pandemic, and how some things are getting exposed because of the pandemic that's happening.
Yeah.
I've been reading a few books about that, and it just like it points out these so extremely obvious things that everyone should be rioting about, basically. Like every piece of evidence is there that it's happening, but still it's not being changed.
Yeah.
So a big part of me is like, okay, I can give a bit of money to them, but that's not gonna fix the majority of like the entire problem.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would just jump into like go dive headfirst into making sure that it's fixed from the roots up, basically.
Yeah.
Like the entire system is getting changed. But also part of me is like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm living a life and I want to be happy. Like I'm not want to be want to be the one who's trying to fix everything.
Yeah.
So Naomi's here to make us sad. Also, pursuing goals doesn't actually make us happier either. What I found kind of depressing is that 50% of our happiness is just determined by our genetics, 10% is circumstance, and the other 40% is things that we can actually control.
Yeah.
You can be born sad.
Yeah.
It makes sense, yeah.
You should always try and pursue what makes you happy and completes your life expectations while sustaining your life income. Yeah. Wow, this is kind of...
It's a balance.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to D&D.
Yeah. I mean,
like... Oh, yeah, like I completely, like, of course, everyone wants to do what makes them happy. But I also feel like people wanna... Like, I actually believe that generally people want the entire human race to be successful. I want everyone else to be happy.
Yeah, it's a case of like, it is slightly impossible for us to all individually comprehend what happiness of the human race is.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that goes on in the world of completely different systems and completely different situations that people are in that, you know, we can't really fully comprehend because A, we've not experienced it, and B, we don't know of it fully.
Yeah.
So to give like entire like happiness to like the entire human race is impossible. But then there's the question of like, okay, well, if you want to contextualize what counts as like a part of the human race that you want to influence, it's always going to be the people in your life.
Yeah.
It's always going to be like the friends that you make and that kind of stuff. And the more diverse the range of friends you have, the wider expectations you have for changing happiness.
Yeah. Naomi has said that the only things that we can actually prove increases happiness is social interaction, being outside, and altruistic action.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and of course our own mindset.
Yeah.
In a certain way, life is... We're bringing it round back to D&D. Thank you, Star-Lord, for
Thank you.
nicely tying this up. In a certain way, life is like a huge D&D board game. Every decision you make affects your future and you can't go back. That's why I love this game. Also, practicing gratitude towards yourself and others is known to boost happiness.
Yeah.
So that's what D&D is. It's an adventure game because you are an adventurer. If you weren't an adventurer, you'd be an NPC, and you think, well, how does this NPC have connections to anything else in the world apart from themselves? It's just like, it's because you're playing a character that does interact with the world and everyone within it. You are increasing the social range and that network of knowing people within a world because you're an adventurer and that's what you do.
Yeah. Something I also recently kind of learned and tried to really practice is that whenever I finish a project or I finish something small, I try to compliment myself on it, not being just... Whenever I finish, I try to say, well, you did it, good job. Like, being able to acknowledge that you finished something. Because usually what we do as humans, whenever we finish it, we are trying to strive to finish another thing. We're not, like, realizing that we actually finished something. Because...
I've realised this in the last few days, and I've been trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
With little success.
It's because it's important to compliment yourself and what you're doing whenever you finish something or whenever you make a step towards the right direction.
Yeah. I think...
I've been trying to do that for the past 3 years, and I still find it so hard to do.
I think it's kind of... We're on whether you want to blame, you know, capitalism, the kind of extreme responses of like you have to be creating something, you have to be moving forwards, you have to be doing something, learning something, making more money, doing better than you were before. Whether you want to blame all of that on capitalism or not, it is like the state of our minds collectively as a society, I believe. So I think just getting out of it is so incredibly difficult, because when you see okay, how do I explain this? When you see other people judging themselves en masse by a certain set of standards, it's hard to not do the same. So what I'm currently trying to do for my own sanity is create my own internal beauty standards that aren't kind of like, sure, like there's no way I'm not going to be influenced by like style and fashion around me or kind of body image stuff, but to say that I like the way I look when I'm wearing these kinds of clothes, or when I'm wearing this kind of makeup, or when I'm not wearing makeup, or when I'm at this fitness level, or whatever it is, and not saying that like looking at a photo of someone else and saying, oh, I wish I had that, I wish that I looked like this, or I wish that like my makeup was like this, because like my face does not fit in with like the beauty standards of like anywhere. I found out recently that in I've heard, I don't know how true this is, that in Africa people consider ginger people to be really unattractive. So that was a real booster. That was something that I was like, great, never traveling to Africa based purely on that fear.
Well, I think
no
that's
other
like
reason. Africa's
it's
great,
interesting.
But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to like hear about it and acknowledge it, but then also say fuck it. Like, who cares?
Go through it.
Yeah.
Like they might not think I'm attractive, but I am who I am. I cannot change it. I'm just you know, fuck it.
How do you guys deal with this in art? Because like saying like personal beauty standards is very similar to having a personal art style, right? So how do you guys, the look of fear on your face, Soph?
It's not fear, it's a case where it's like whenever people talk about anything, like when it comes to like female beauty standards or just like beauty standards in general, I just sit here just like, I ain't got none. Like, I gave up on it a very long time ago.
But like in relation to brain, please don't blank on me. In relation to art, how do you deal with your personal style to then kind of going online and seeing like your friends or just artists you admire, like seeing their art style and their level of art? How do you like comprehend that the difference in style or ability level? This is turning into like a group therapy session.
I'm happy to have it.
Yeah. I don't really, like, I used to do this, especially like at the beginning of my art career. Like I've been drawing for, I think 6 years now. I think I was 12 when I started. So like I try not to judge myself for how my art is turning out and how other people's art is turning out. Like I try to see it and I try to point out the bits that I like and try to see how can I implement them in my own style. Can I adapt something? How do they do this basically? And can I change it up? Because if I love something about someone's art, I'm just gonna say I absolutely adore this. This is amazing, and then I'm gonna look at my own art and see how they did it this way. Could I maybe learn from that and pick it up and try to use it in my own style? So I don't bring myself down because other people are doing better. I try to pick the parts that I love from their art into my own style. Because like I don't see the point of bringing yourself down because other people are doing better.
Yeah.
How hard a process was that to achieve? Because like you said, you did it at the very beginning. There was more kind of comparison than appreciation. How was that transition for you?
I think it's mainly because I grew up like it's very a big part of my raising, as it like my mom has always been a person who wants me to see the positive in everything, like see the sparks of hope that are there. So also with that, she's not trained me in any way, but she has like, we have been talking about it, and she has been trying to tell me like, you should not depend your art on what other people make. It's just like it's because it's I don't know how to really say this properly, but like it's part of my how I was raised.
Yeah.
So that's how I can implement it in my way of doing things. Yeah. I feel like I need to turn on the lights because it's getting dark in here. Hold on.
Even when you have heaven behind you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Just thinking about how to word it as well, because it is an interesting one. I say for me, in terms of my art style, it's the, I don't know, like I have an art style, but I'm also the kind of person where, because everything is purely visual based, and I'm able to just like base everything on like the visual recreations of how I see things, I can do things quite accurately. So it's a case of like, I don't look at someone's art and think, oh, that's amazing, like I don't think I could ever achieve that. Like, I don't know if it's just like a very selfish thing to see, but it is unfortunately a very honest thing that I always think to myself, which is when I see like a piece of artwork that's interesting, I always think I could do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't, it's kind of like the opposite level of like any kind of self-doubt. I don't have self-doubt. I'm always of the mindset it's like, I can do that if I tried.
Yeah.
But it's a case where it's like, I always have this kind of mindset where it's like, I could do that if I tried, but I won't because someone else has done it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do something just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I don't really have that kind of comparison streaks with like looking at other people's art. I just think, oh, that's quite interesting. That's fun how they do that. And I wouldn't really have any like kind of any negative connotation towards it. It's just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like understanding that you're capable of doing anything that you truly put your mind to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting because that's something specifically that I have been struggling with learning Korean, is that there are like, you know, native speakers, people who have also learnt Korean who can like I'm at the very beginning of the journey, you know? So to see people who maybe like started at the same time as me or started before me, and they're a little bit before me, and see that they're doing better is like, it's really hard for me to like the progression isn't the same for everyone. I'm really not struggling with, but I find it difficult. And just knowing that, like, having to keep reminding myself that like languages is what the brain is designed to do, like from birth, like we're trained to, not trained, but like the brain is designed to pick up patterns and sounds and to be able to comprehend what people are trying to communicate with you. So like I keep having to remind myself of that, and the knowledge that I could do that if I tried hard enough, and that I've just got to keep persisting with it is like,
it's not even if you try hard enough, you can do it. You just can, but you need time, because like you can't do it in a split second. Like it literally takes years of time to learn something. Like if we were able to pick up anything and completely do it without struggle, the very first try we would, it would not be as fun, I feel like.
I think the biggest lie the majority of us are taught, that is kind of ingrained to us because it's just it's what a lot of basic education systems have basically forced us to do, is that you have to do this now, otherwise you will never do it again.
Yeah.
So that's why you always have like a slight competitive streak within school. It's like you're always punished if you're like behind from everyone else, which like doesn't really help. And then you come to that realization where it's like, well, it's not technically like, it's not technically the case that I'm forced to be I'm forced to move my personal progression along with everybody else. I'm just a little bit like, I'm just naturally born a little bit behind and I need more time.
Yeah.
But fortunately in school it's just like, well, there is no time. You have to do everything in under a year of this certain standards, otherwise you're discriminated for it basically, because you know, you're forced to keep back and then you're just insulted for it because you're seen as stupid. But then it comes to a point where you enter proper adulthood, and then you realize, oh, I can quit something. Not only can I quit something, I can start it again later.
Yeah.
And then it's realized, oh, now I can actually do it at my own pace.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's kind of leaving that it's leaving that school child attitude of thinking I have a deadline. You don't have a deadline.
No.
You just gotta like take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
So
And not have a comparison to any students around you, because everyone is technically a student, but also your own teacher.
Yeah.
So I always wonder how it could have gone differently, but I didn't know how to like read or write.
Yeah.
And I was like a year late on that. And it was like, I have my own theories, but it was believed that it was originally from like going from like a bad school, despite the fact all the other children's learn how to read and write, but we're going to ignore that.
It's
And like,
it's
I moved schools and I didn't know how to read and write. Oh no, what was it? I didn't know like my vowels or something. Or it was something like that. But my keywords, that's what it was. So like the and a keywords. And so I had to be taken out of class and be given special lessons on my own to help me catch up. And like, it's always been pointed out to me that even though I picked it up quickly, like, I was essentially like a year behind, and I could have been doing better if I wasn't a year behind. And like, it's a weird thing to say to a child, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think but it's just like how your brain functions and how you as a person function, because like everyone can learn anything if they really want to.
Yeah.
So you are capable of, like, I would be able to learn something in 10 years. I would be able to do a part of it at least. But some people, it takes 15 years to learn it. Other people, it takes 2 years to learn it. Like, you are capable enough to learn something. It depends on, like, how quickly your brain picks up on it.
Naomi says, well, for me, art is a hobby. I do it for fun, not to be better than other people or to do it professionally, so that takes a lot of pressure off. I think that's like we're in a time, I mean, we're doing it with D&D. Like, we're in a time in which if you have a hobby, you monetize it, you know? Like, if you enjoy something or if something is fun, it's like, oh, how can I make money off of this? Can I put it on TikTok? Can I get on the Creator Fund? Can I do a YouTube channel? And I think that is like when you break it down to like, oh, this is something I do to fun to unwind, to like put it in the context of, and then everyone tries to make money off of it. It's kind of, it's capitalism, is what it is.
It is, yeah.
It's trying to make a living out of something you enjoy, but if the moment you realize there's also something else I enjoy and I can make a living off of it, the other thing becomes less relevant to improve in. You still want to improve, but you don't want to improve because you want to do something with it.
Yeah. Everyone has different perspectives of the world, so for someone it would never be enough because they can't control their own emotions and perspectives on their own life. That was in context to something we said, and I cannot think.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
I don't either.
About the art thing, I think. Yeah.
There's something very nice. I'm just going to read through chat for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot, that conversation. There's something nice about realizing you're shit at something, but doing it anyways because you enjoy it. Like me and guitar, I'm incredibly rhythmically challenged and can't sing for shit, but I play anyways because it relaxes me. That's why I don't do photography in a professional manner. I think allowing yourself
the process of doing something.
Yeah, allowing yourself to be bad at something, I think, is something that we don't allow ourselves to do anymore. Like, it's like, what's that quote? Like, we call it to be an amateur at something as like a hobby, but amateur comes from the word amore, which is love in Latin or something like that. Which I think
means you're doing it for the
beautiful.
passion of it.
Yeah. And I think there's like God, what was it? I wrote something down. I started like a journal because my brain doesn't hold things. Give me a minute.
Good idea.
I wrote something down.
Let Becca find something in her room.
And it seems to relax this conversation. Like the idea that to do something you have to be good at it. And something that it's probably like an ADD thing as well, but like, you don't have to be enthusiastic to do something. Productivity isn't relevant to passion. To do something at the best of your ability, you don't need to be in love with the task. But it's like the flip side of it. So like I think a lot of time, like trying to monetize your hobby, monetize your passion, it's the idea of doing something well or doing something and being productive is kind of being pushed together into doing something passionate. So it feels like there's the perspective that you can't do something just to be productive, and you can't do something just for the love of it. It has to be productive and fun. Otherwise it's not. It's not how you want to live your life. And I think getting out of like the headspace in which you've been, at least like, not that I necessarily have been brought up on it, but like I've picked up over time that, you know, you got to pursue your passion as a career option, you know. When actually you can get passion for something through being good at it and doing well and making money off of it.
We're really living in a mindset where whenever you find something you're good at or you're enjoying, you have to make a living off of it. Like it's a waste of time if you're just like, that's the general mindset. I feel like it's a waste of time if you're doing something and not making a living out of it. Well, in reality, you should just have fun in something and not being pushed or try to make a career out of it.
It depends how you're raised in school anyway. I had this discussion with my brother of like the difference between me and him, in that my brother is like very philosophically minded and he wants to be a writer and he wants to be a musician, like if he was to pursue any of his passions, but he wasn't. So he was the kind of thing where he's like, I have to do something that will, you know, get me a lot of money and like let me have a good affordable life later on in life. So he pursued science, and so his main job is being a chemical engineer. And he said he's going to enter a work environment in which it's the most soul-crushing situation he could ever be in. He's going to be talking to a lot of people who are so up their own arses that it's unbearable, and you'll be constantly developing this dislike in the back of your head that's going to be outed in like social like mindfulness meetings where you just vent how much you hate everyone for like an hour, and then you'll feel happy, and then you return to that same environment, but you just build up the same energy again and again and again. But because of school and because of university and all that stuff, he's raised to tolerate that, because he knows in the background, I've got my music, I've got like my passion, I've got that kind of stuff. I can tolerate the bullshit that these like guys will tell me because that's how I've been raised. And then there's me, where I don't like bullshitting, I don't like liars, and I cannot tolerate people who are intolerant and basically bullshitting in front of my very face. So I could never get into that environment. And because I was a girl, my mum and dad were just like, well, she's good at arts, and because it's a feminine activity to like pursue a form of art, she'd probably get along well in an artistic environment. So they let me pursue a passion. But that means I would not be able to cope in my brother's environment. So it's not good if I was to ever enter a kind of corporate situation. So it seems destiny that anything that I do is very art-based and probably freelance, because I would not walk into that kind of environment willingly unless I was destined to leave within the same day. And my brother was just like, in many ways I am freer, but in the society we live in, that has restricted me a lot. So I've now basically chosen a path in which I will struggle, but at least I'll have a soul at the end of the day. Meanwhile, my brother will live a life where he will be comfortable, but will have to bullshit his entire way through it. And that's basically the two choices you have.
And because of capitalism, it's the only two choices you have. I think that is a good line to like, of the divide between, do you spend your
do you have a soul and struggle, or do you give up your soul and live comfortably?
I think like you can't. I feel like it's not the only two real options, because like
there is also other options, but capitalism tries its best to say no, these are the only two options. And this kind of I'm kind of glad that we do have these terrible things that have occurred, like pandemics, because they basically say, oh, look how badly the system is running, maybe we should make an alternative. And now there are alternatives. As soon as we return back to normal, would we really want to go back to normal? I'm pretty sure people are just like, no, I don't like going back to the thing that was turned out to be bullshit. Can we change this, please?
I like my mom lives in, not lives in, Jesus. She works in, what do you call it? Like basically the after school care of kids. And she is one of the highest names in like the thing in the Netherlands. I don't know the terms for it, but like she because she is she's a person who really lives off her emotions. And even though the environment can be extremely like toxic in some way, she is strong enough and she is capable of not enough to just, whenever someone bullshits in her face, she's just like, you're not going to do this to me. You're going to shut up right now. I'm going to talk to you and we're going to have a conversation in a normal way. So whenever she talks to people higher up and they are like bullshitting with her, or even like males, or like she had basically had a meeting with 5 males, like 5 higher up people, and she was the only female there, and she was there to explain them something, and she started explaining, and then they started asking her questions, but they basically were asking her, you know what this means, right? Yeah, you understand this term, like, well, she was explaining it to them. And my mom was just like, in the moment in the conversation, she was like, excuse me, what the fuck are you saying right now? I am here to explain you guys something. You're not the one to explain me something. I know perfectly well what this means, and you're gonna shut up and listen. That's basically what she said.
Commons mom is a badass.
So I've been very much raised on that mentality. Like, if someone fucks with you, you gotta say something, and you can say something. And if they don't respect it, that's their problem. Yeah.
It's interesting, the kind of personalities we all ended up as, depending on like our backgrounds and how we were raised.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting to kind of try and work out where you fit in a society, especially if you don't like agree with a lot of the society itself. Like, being like, do I want to, like, you know, live? I'm trying to think of that philosopher who was homeless and just shouted abuse at most people. In a rich man's home, there's nowhere to spit but his face. That dude.
Oh yeah.
Begins with a D. Anyone in chat.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The race of the Googling.
Yeah.
There's like a way up between, do you want to be that guy? Do you want to just like head down, keep working, or do you want to be someone who gets to the top? And
Diogenesis.
No, yeah,
Diogenesis,
yeah.
That dude, and work it out from there. I gotta go, but if you're gonna take anything away from this conversation, remember that humans are incredibly adaptable. We will always find ways to be happy and to live, even in a world where everything is stacked against us. That's a wonderful sentiment from Naomi, just as they are leaving chat. Thank you for coming and hanging out.
Good luck with your exams and everything.
Yeah. They also put in chat saying that they have the second jab and they feel like absolute hell. So please look after yourself, Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't overwork yourself.
Yeah.
Thoughts and D&D prayers. I'd pray to Orgma for you, you know?
Yeah. Present the knowledge needed to get through this very tough academic time.
Exams, so I'll pray to Orgma for you.
Yeah. Hey AJ.
Hey AJ, we have cast members coming in and out of chat.
Yeah.
Like it's
I feel like they may have sensed that we're kind of going off topic into a therapy session and have now just come in to say, "Are you all right?"
Yeah. Secretly, Dave has got a group text without us in, and he's just like,
It's just like,
they need help.
One again.
Go! Give them help. They need help.
Literally anyone at all.
Yeah.
You've just woken up? It's like 5?
Yeah, 5.
From a nap or from... I'm so
Go have
impressed at
breakfast.
some people's like sleep schedules. Like, I have no
I am
doubt,
as well.
I have no doubt that if I fell back asleep at 12.
Okay.
I have no doubt that if I lived alone, my sleep schedule would be an absolute mess. No doubt at all. But the thing is, because like when I've lived like away from home, I've always lived with other people. It's been like, well, I can't go and use the kitchen because I'll wake people up. I can't eat right now, so then you don't wake up at that time again.
Yeah.
But if I lived alone, my god, I would be a mess.
Yeah. Awake for 60 hours straight and then not seen for a week. You've just slept through the whole week.
Oh my, yeah.
What month is it?
I mean, my friends, like, have, like, it's common knowledge among my friends that I will, like, disappear for, like, the summer or, like, the winter. And then I'll, like, message them 6 months later, like, yo, what up, guys? And they're like, what the fuck have you been? It's like, you know, just places.
I went for a walk and I just ended up in the middle of London. I don't know
Yeah.
what it
I
was.
went for a walk. No, it's 6 months later. Yeah. So,
I don't know what happened. I just went for a walk and that's it. I
I've
blanked out.
50 quid light in my pocket and I have someone else's teeth in my right pocket. I don't know what happened.
But I'm here now.
You can fill in the blanks for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so which means you guys are the one group of people other than my close family that I have been talking to continuously for
We're the
more
ones who will be
than-
updating your friends.
Yeah.
Just like, where have they been? Well, on weekends have been D&D.
Yeah.
If you want to check up on her, come to this channel. You can see her and see that she's still
No.
alive.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a message from a friend saying, "Are you alive still?" I didn't reply, and then I responded like a week later in the group chat about like our dying bonsai trees.
Yeah.
It's still dead. You can't see it on the camera, but he's dead.
You've hit it well.
And I got a message from like her girlfriend saying, "You didn't respond to her message," and I was like, "Ooh, oops." Yes, I am alive, and then I never messaged them again or in that group chat at all because I was like, I'm not here for that.
I'm exactly the same thing. But then again, they don't message me, so
Yeah, they've given up on me now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to check up on me, you would do what Dave does, and you'd bugger me with texts nearly every hour, just like, hey, have you checked this out? Hey, you're alright? Hey, how was this? Hey, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Just like, yes, now fuck off, I'm alive.
My usual response to anyone who texts me is either this emoji or this emoji.
Alternate, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm just like, I respond to you like I am alive, but still, I'm not gonna explain anything else. It's just, I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I'm the kind of person who does well in like a big group chat of like people who aren't mean to me. Because like if you guys are just like having conversations like nearly constantly, I can like jump in and be like hyper for like an hour, and then I can leave you alone for 3 weeks and come back and do the same thing. That's my style of communication.
Yeah.
If it works for you.
Yeah.
AJ is threatening to text you, Soph.
Getting out the phone.
I don't really look at my phone as the thing.
I'm gonna text
Also,
you
can
as
I-
well, just to...
Can I
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright.
can I just like show, I'm gonna show this.
Oh yeah, this was posted
Your
in our
broken
Discord.
cat.
This is just like, it's been my mood, and I've been, every single time I see the photo, I'm just giggling to myself.
It's just like the ex, like it looks like he's like, I'm existing. Or like he forgot how to cat.
Yeah, like how does that work?
Cat.exe has stopped working. I feel like someday I go for a trip and find myself in a forest. I would disappear for weeks. People would be shocked the moment I come back. Yeah, it's tempting. Sometimes I'm like, I just like want to go and exist somewhere else, and like maybe I'll go somewhere and like talk to people and they'll know who I am. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just like bounce from like village to village, town to town, never tell anyone who I am or give like a false name, and just like exist not as myself. Or maybe because the self is a construct, it would be more of myself because I'm not around people who I know, so I'm not being
Yeah.
There are people who like orbit around other people's lives like moons, and there's people who are just comets. So it's like, I'm just gonna pass by. You won't see me for another eon, but I'll come by again, most definitely, because you've locked me into this orbit of your life.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like, that's also from a song. Like it's a very like a lyric I very much like. It's like, I will see my friends again. I don't know when. It could be tomorrow. It could be in a year. I got one last letter from them, but I lost the letter.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
Fuck, I
off of-
deleted the text. Where were we meant to
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's that feeling of like, you know, we have a connection, we're friends, we talk to each other. We could meet tomorrow and we would be fine, but we could also meet in a year and it would also be fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if I don't know where you live. I know the connection we have, and I know that the conversations we had are still in my memory. So if I meet you sometime in a year, it would be still the same as I met you yesterday.
Yeah.
When we have after D&D chats offline. Well, they're online, but they're offline to you guys.
Yeah.
And there was one time when we were just scrolling through our phones and sharing like old memories and weird photos that we had, and I ended up getting like kind of sad because I was like scrolling through and like seeing all of these people that like I don't talk to anymore. Like I've deleted off like Facebook and like I don't follow them on Twitter. Like I don't have any social media contact with them. I'm not gonna see them ever again. And I'm like, that's and it's like a lot of people. Like the people in like classes and clubs, just the people that you bump into regularly enough that you end up becoming quite close. Like it's a lot of people. Like the number of people that you have an impact on over like I'm just 21, right? So the number of people that I've had an impact on, I just kind of had a moment of, okay, like when I'm 50, like I will not remember everyone who I had like a 5-minute conversation with for like 3 weeks in a row every day. Like I'm not going to remember that person, but I had an impact on their life, and even though they don't remember me, like if I had any impact at all on them, it will like ripple through their life, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you changed their perspective, or you said something or pointed something out that they didn't think of before, or you said something and it, hopefully this isn't true, you said something and it hurt them, and it's like, even though they can't pin it down to you, it's something that they've thought about for like a long time. The impact you have on like the number of people, it's like, I don't know if it's a quote or I think it's a quote, but it is a quote.
You have impacted a lot of people's lives without knowing it.
Your reach is stronger and further than you believe. I don't know where it comes from. It might be D&D, I don't know. But let's just say it is. Let's just bring it back around. It's from D&D. Your reach is further and stronger than you believe. Like, the impact you have on the world is hella large. Big oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I directly translate the lyrics, it's I will not forget my friends, because whoever is dear to me remains dear to me, and where they live I had to know, but I lost their last letter. I will meet them later, maybe today, maybe in a year. I will kiss them and greet them. It will work itself out again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
It's the truth. Like I had a best friend from like, I met them when I was 1. Like a very childhood friend, and I haven't had contact with them in like 5 years, and we didn't really say properly goodbye to each other, but it was just like we were growing out, like we were going our separate ways. And I know where she lives. Like she lives very she lives very close, but eventually you kind of grow out. You go your separate paths, and you live your life. And I feel like that will happen to almost everyone. You will meet people, you will talk to them for a couple of years, and then it will go.
Okay, but it can't be you within the, like, during this international panini. Like, we can't do that. Like, we've got to play the D&D, like, at least once a week. Otherwise, I will cry. You're, like, this close to making me cry now, so let's not do that.
Sorry. Well, like, this, no... if I'm gonna say this, you guys will cry, but it made me cry when my mom said it. Like, my mom said, like, right now, this is something you hold very dear to you. Like, it's something you really much enjoy, talking to these friends daily. But if the internet ever cuts out, if something ever happens, that's the end of it. Like, this right now, in this moment, it's very important. It's something you experience weekly and you enjoy very much. But there is a possibility it will just end in any moment. and that can happen. Yeah, it can happen at any moment.
Yeah, no, I hate that. Thank you. But it's true, right? Like it's
but you just don't think about it because it's a case of like if you're living in a day in which the morning's like a very sunny, like blue sky day, and then someone says, "Oh, it's going to rain in the afternoon," and then you keep constantly thinking about the rain coming in the afternoon. You don't enjoy the sunshine in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't think about the endings coming. You enjoy the moment in the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very hard thing to get into the mind of like somebody who deals with anxiety as well, because my entire life is this is going to happen soon.
There's a possibility it will happen. The possibility of us going separate ways again is there, and it will most likely happen eventually. But let's enjoy it for now, and let's have a good time now because it's happening.
If that ever does happen, I will tweet at you once every 10 years, and y'all better reply. I don't care whether that Twitter account is inactive. I need you to check up on it and just be like, it's still alive. Don't.
The main thing that makes me have hope of the fact that like, I don't know, a friendship that will last a long time is that there is a level of stubbornness you have of like trying to remind people that, you know, you are friends with them, because there are so many people who have so much doubt in themselves that it's just like, oh god, my friends hate me. Oh, I said the wrong thing. You know, oh, I'm so scared that I had this kind of situation. Oh god, like, you know, I'm not that closely connected to that person. I'm going to leave and never see them again. But then there's that certain level of friendship where it's like, you would drive across a country to see your friend, partly in a way to escape the boring life you had in the place you were previously, but also just to check up to see that that person is still in your life.
Yeah. When this
because at the end of the day, you're just finding things to do.
We need
As soon as the panini is eaten, Becca will get in the car and drive all over the country to find us and personally bitch slap us for saying, "How dare you become friends with me?
How dare you come into my life and then potentially one day leave?
We have these feelings."
Outrageous. Yeah, no, we need to work out when/where/how we can all meet up, because now Naomi has had her second vaccine. Have any of us had our vaccines? Anyone else?
No. Yesterday my mum had her second vaccine. I've not had my first.
Okay. My mum...
Still on the waiting list. I will be up in September.
My mum has had her second vaccine, I think? Yeah, my mum's had a second vaccine. I haven't had my first one yet.
No.
I don't know when that's happening, but
that is the unfortunate UK feeling of just like seeing America and Canada and like everyone our age group just like literally walking into private healthcare areas to get their first and second vaccine, and we're just sitting here like, we've got to wait for the government to allow us. Yeah. We're on detention until we get our vaccine.
However, it means that everyone gets it. I'd rather have this situation than being in a situation in which it doesn't matter whether you have it or not, because not enough people have it because of whatever reason, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it only works if enough people have the vaccine, which is why measles have been coming back, because people haven't been vaccinating their children.
You just gotta be patient.
Yeah.
Whew. And sensible.
Patience is key.
AJ gets their second in June.
Nice.
Yes, June. I did read that correctly. My brain, for some reason, couldn't line up the two because it's split. Quite wonderful.
Nearly there, though.
Should we be talking about D&D?
We should.
Yeah.
Although, again, it is 5:30.
It is 5:30. We should probably end the podcast now. We did not speak about D&D once.
Second
we did
no.
once. The very beginning. The second.
No.
Yeah, we try to round about it in a way of D&D. What you got is an insight into like the kind of conversations we get into when we turn the cameras off from live.
Yeah.
We just needed a bit of a therapy session.
Yeah. This was probably...
It's been one of those months.
Yeah. But we haven't been able to do this for a while because people have been unwell, not around, whatever. We were due this. This was due.
This was due.
Yeah.
And you got to see what it was like.
So, thank you for joining us on this philosophical...
Mental breakdown.
Therapy thing.
Yeah. This venting mindfulness meeting.
Yeah.
Also have a Sleeping cat.
Yeah, there was a comment about how cats have 2 moods, liquid and goblin. It was from AJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, friend, are you liquid or goblin right now?
I think she's liquid.
Liquid with goblin head.
Hey, sir. Hello, good sir. You liquid or goblin?
Yeah.
Cake or death? Weird
I responded
reference.
to your text, by the way, Becca.
You have? Oh my god, I have a friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
For a moment then, I thought I was gonna like dox your number, but I do actually have your name saved in my phone, so it's
Good.
it's like here's
Otherwise-
my phone number.
There you go.
That's freaking adorable, and I'm tempted to make it my home screen because Daisy judging
I
me.
think Daisy. Yeah, I think Daisy would be very happy.
You want that in your life, yeah.
Yeah, it's a reminder.
Okay.
You're getting judged.
I'm out of focus, but we lost focus on D&D, so it's
I'm out of time.
relevant. We're out of time. We're out of energy.
But I'm not out my head when you're not around.
Yeah, no one has my number, but so for AJ.
Those who do, it is a great privilege.
And Dave, only because I was like, "Fucking give me your number." That was how. Or actually, I sent him my number, and then he didn't text me.
Yeah,
I
and
had
then
to.
he never ever responded because he's just an absolute
I
bastard
have
to try
no
and
one's
get
number
out.
here.
Yeah, there's Dave has 2 modes. It's messaging you constantly, or never messaging you at all. I'm in the never messaging you.
I
at
feel
all
like we need a
friendship thing.
WhatsApp group at some point.
Yeah, I feel like I was thinking about like, is Discord enough? And I'm like,
Yeah, 'cause-
should we maybe
yeah.
share numbers? But
When Discord crashes,
yeah, if
you
I
should
like,
have a backup.
it almost feels like weird to ask everyone's number. Just be like, can you send me your number?
Yeah.
Because you know that's like it's a very direct connection to
Yeah,
a person.
right?
All of a
Like,
sudden,
it's-
Yeah.
I'm like, I very often had the feeling, should I text someone my number just in case, you know? And I'm like, should I? But that feels intrusive. Like, I don't want to force it upon you to have my number.
Yeah, I had a moment in which I was questioning whether I should ask Maddie where she, like, whereabouts, like, she is. Because she lives, like, if she lives, like, in central Portsmouth, she lives 25 miles, 25 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So that's not close.
25 minutes from my house. Which means we could, once the panini's been eaten, someone's going to look back at this, and if you forget this
But no one's going to
I will
understand the
kill you.
Game Grumps reference of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, except the people who know the most distinct reference of what that is.
That's true. I do not understand that.
Yeah.
I don't watch games.
That's just their way of getting. That's just their reference to the whole situation. They just named it as the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Oh,
Amazing.
okay.
Yeah, I think they have merch now of it, but it's like no. In 10 years' time, no one's gonna know what the fuck the Backstreet Boys reunion tour is and why it was referenced so heavily.
Yeah. I think giving your number totally depends on the relationship you have with them. Agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she lives like 25 minutes from my house, and I'm like, is it weird to be like, I live here, or like this is like it, like, do you want to meet up and get like coffee sometime and like talk in part? Like, is that like a step?
I feel like
I think
the most natural way it could come about is like the pair of you texting just like, oh, do you want to meet up in person, have a coffee somewhere? And you just so happen to, as you're walking along, she just so happens to pass by her house, and then you remember where the house is in your mind.
Yeah.
As opposed to just you like messaging her and just go, where you live.
I think it's something really from our generation that like that we're scared to ask someone like the personal information of their phone number, because usually back in the day, like, their phone number was one of the only ways to reach someone.
Like,
and nowadays we have Twitter, Discord, Insta.
It was in a phone book. It was like public information.
Yeah.
There was like your
I love how people look at that now and just think, oh my god, that was just like such a security breach, how dare they do that? And there are people who basically encrypt what their birthday is and their personal information because of BuzzFeed quizzes, just like determine like what kind of, you know, what color your spiritual stone is by just sending you your, you know, your card information details.
yeah, let's share numbers. Let's get a WhatsApp group. We're now just doing a behind the scenes. We need to end this live stream
again.
Okay.
We need to end this because this is now getting a bit too
Okay, so my number is 07.
Here you go. This is my number.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows. But hey, here's the thing, and it's one of the downsides to our group is that now we've told you all publicly what we're going to do. Remind us what we're going to do, because by the second this call ends, we're gonna fucking forget and go and like do something else.
I made the mistake of I'm in the midst of like a lot of things right now, but I say gesturing to a whiteboard with a long list that you can't see. But one of those things is like making YouTube videos and starting to do that, and I kind of want to stream more, and I said that to my audience, and like some people...
They abused hydration bot and posture bot on you. I think that's enough to say, I shouldn't really be public.
Unaware of boundaries, shall we say? So it turned into a bit of like people going like upload a video, and I was like, I'm
just trying. Yeah.
This is for fun. Like, I'm not doing this to become like an influencer or a content creator. I just want to like put my thoughts somewhere. Please don't attack me.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all are just
it's a specific thing that only creators will understand, because you run in the surge of a moment, just like, I'm going to do this, and then you actually get the stuff to do it. It's just like, I want to do something else. You lose the energy you had within a second.
The moment everything's set up to do.
I had an idea. There's a theory about ideas. It's like a little bit out there, but like I find it interesting anyway. That ideas are sentient. Bear with me.
Yeah.
And they...
Well, they are, because you're in your mind.
Anyway, and they
I don't think it's they crashed for a second. I was just like, I broke her brain so hard.
Yeah, I thought you completely froze.
It was just a jump of like face of confusion, and then jump cut to just like wide-eyed realization.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, the idea is that ideas are sentient, and they choose someone who can kind of best fulfill themselves as an idea, right? And it came from someone a couple of people wrote a book on it, and one of the examples that was given was this author wrote like a bit of a book and like was like setting it up and writing it, and kind of got distracted by other books, went to write another book, and then like a few years later was talking to another author that she had like just recently met, and they were talking about books that they were writing, and other than the time that it was done in and one other piece of information, every single plot point was the same. And the idea is that the idea was like up and left because she's tried to sit down and write it and just couldn't get like the spark of the idea again. So the idea had left her and gone to someone else who could fulfill the idea, and ended up writing the book and publishing it.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah.
So if you ever like lose like an idea or like the creative spark for something, it's because the idea got bored of your bullshit and left.
Just like
my takeaway from it.
Yeah.
And then I thought of all of the things I've started and haven't finished, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah. And now it's a case of it's just like, okay, which one of my friends has that idea just gone and hung around with? I need to find them and talk to them about it so I can get that idea back. Which one of you, it's like a pet, like, just, you're constantly like, especially Becca when they look at like Carmen's cat or like my cat, it's just like, I want to take your pet. Like, just imagine it like that. It's just like, Becca's taken my cat, so I need to go and retrieve it.
Yeah. I know you said it. I know you had an idea, and now it's in my head.
You have my pet idea. I want it back.
Yeah.
We're going to talk it.
Anyway,
we said we're gonna end this podcast like 4 times.
Yeah. It's been 10 minutes since we said we were going to end the podcast.
Yeah. We went 40 minutes overtime, which is sure.
Thank you for joining us, for everyone who has stuck around, for everyone who joined halfway through for a D&D podcast and got therapy.
You're welcome.
I am so sorry.
Thought of the day, do we need help?
Yeah. Yes, is the answer.
Is there a licensed therapist somewhere?
Is there a licensed therapist in chat? I'd love to tell you that it's not normally like this, but it is normally like this, so please follow and subscribe if this is your kind of jazz. There are social medias there. Wow, that is every link possible. I am
I
am running the Twitter, so if you have any questions, qualms, you want to compliment me on my posters.
You're multitasking, really. You have 50,000 different Twitter accounts and you juggle between them. I find it amazing you're able to do that.
I have like 4 Twitter accounts. Some of them are more
I have
active
one.
than others.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I only need one.
I have one and I can't run it on my own.
mentally comprehend a second one.
Yeah.
Mentally comprehend. Starlord says, certainly I would be the kind of guy that would steal your cat for a day and give it back every once in a while. I'm not a therapist, but I have one. Does that count? No. Unless we can steal therapists now. But anyway, on that note of trying to stop this gosh diddly damn podcast, I will now end it. Thank you for joining us. Everyone froze. That was fun. I hope you had
The internet has given up.
The internet's given up. My brain has given up. Thank you for joining us. I will see you
next weekend.
Whenever.
Yeah, whenever.
Saturday.
D&D, Saturday, Sunday.
I'll
podcast
see you.
Wednesday. I will see
Whenever.
you. Watch out.
Could be today, could be tomorrow.
Watch your back.
Jesus.
It's a threat.
Oh no.